semangatmu, tegaklah berdiri, terbanglah kau tinggi.
AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพเปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ
Meters will round off our Sunday night schedule here in Jakarta. Well, this morning we started in around about 32 degrees of heat and about 50% humidity. Temperatures dropped, humidity has risen. Barely a breath of wind in this stadium that has been so brilliantly renovated. Initially built to host the 4th edition of the Asian Games. And now the glorious centrepiece of the 18th Asian Games. 40 sports, 67 disciplines, over 460 medals. It's an absolute festival of sport. Well, we have a slight delay. The first thing we were hoping to bring you was the victory ceremony for the women's marathon. Rose Chelimo, the world champion, was absolutely superb. Brilliant piece of tactical racing this morning. She went to the front at 25k and blew the field apart. She will be crowned Asian Games champion, just not quite as early in the evening's schedule as was planned. Great to see so many locals turning out this evening. We will get to that Rose Chelimo medal presentation shortly. They have picked a wonderful night to come and join us in the GBK Stadium. Women's 100-metre semi-finals will be next. The women were very, very impressive in qualification. There were a handful who were making 11.3, 11.4, look very comfortable indeed. What a great end to the evening with the two 100-metre finals. Su Bing Chan is the joint Asian record holder. He'll be going in the men's semi-finals a little bit later on. 9.91 this season at altitude and sea level. He's in sparkling form and he's hoping to secure his first Asian Games title over 100 metres.
Well, the 100 semi-finals obviously getting the action underway, but I, for one, are certainly looking forward to the conclusion of the decathlon. We've had a day and a half of excellent competition, and the defending champion, who started very, very sluggishly, coming back into the fold, and with 2 events left, looks to me as though he's now the favourite to retain the title for Japan. Ushiro looking very good.
Women's shot put competition will be underway shortly. One. Yassim. This is all about Gong Li Zhao, the world champion, Olympic silver and bronze medalist for China. Overwhelming favourite. There she is, the defending champion who got the silver back in 2010. Undefeated outdoors this season. She's won in Shanghai, the World Cup in London and Monaco.
Well, I think number one might disagree with you, Rob, because Gao Yang has produced some excellent performances this year in 1836. That means she's competitive, and it's going to be very similar to the women's hammer, which was really a duel between the two Chinese athletes.
Yes, Gao was 4th in the world indoors earlier this year. She's a world junior silver medalist. That was in 2012. But I still think Gong Li Zhao will be the favourite. But yes, in all likelihood, you could well be seeing a Chinese 1-2 yet again.
Gao Yang has got into that awful habit of finishing second. It would be great to see her put that right tonight. She certainly deserves a big title, and the Asian Games so important to the Chinese. 42 nations, incidentally, involved in the athletics program at these games. And we've got world champions, Olympic champions competing here tonight, if you had any doubt about the standard of competition.
There are some very, very good athletes this evening. I'm really looking forward to seeing Samba going in the semi-finals of the men's 4 hurdles. He's in such good shape this year. I wonder whether he might have a crack at the world record. Maybe not here, but the form he produced on the Diamond League circuit in all those great head-to-head races with Varholm was absolutely amazing. Well, we thought we were having a delay with the medal ceremony for the women's marathon, but it is upon us very shortly. And how good was Rose Chilimo this morning, Patrick? We were lucky enough to be watching that one. Blew them apart at 25k.
Well, it's always been said that she is a brilliant racer. And by that, you don't just mean that she can run the marathon in a quick time. She assesses the situation, and in many ways, she was playing with the field this morning at 25, but my goodness, did she make a lot of effort to stay out of trouble all the way through the race. And here they come, Chilimo leading them out. And about to collect Brunei's second successive Asian Games women's marathon gold medal.
Represented by Natalia Sipovic, Executive Board Member of OCA, accompanied by Alexei Konrad, Vice President of the Asian Athletics Association.
So the VIPs making their way out for the marathon presentation, and once this is completed, we'll be on to the women's 100-meter semi-finals, so the action just a few minutes away.
Bronze medal, representing DBR Korea, Kim Hae-sung.
Kim Hae-sung. It was a gutsy run in a group of 3 for much of the latter stage of the race. And she made a move with just around 5 kilometers to go, but it was short-lived and easily matched. Kiko
Silver medal,
Nagami for Japan.
representing Japan, Ogami Keiko.
What a record the Japanese have, not just at the Asian Games, always battling it out for top honours with China, but Kiko Nagami, sensational, led for 95%, probably closer to 99% of the way up to that 25-kilometre mark where Chilimo decided to make the race her own. Japan now 6 times they've finished in 2nd position in the women's marathon. Her time 2:36.27.
Ladies and gentlemen, gold medal and the Asian Games champion, representing Bahrain, Chilimo Rose.
29-year-old Rose Chilimo, the new Asian Games gold medalist, of course, formerly from Kenya, the world champion in London in 2017, finished 8th in Rio. She is a class runner. It was a real pleasure to watch her in action today, and made her move at the 25-kilometre drink station. And she'd threatened to do that at the previous 3 drink stations. I think everyone just got used to it, going into the front, gaining herself some space, and no one was ready to match her move. Even if they were, they wouldn't have caught her. Winning time, 2:34.51, 1 minute 36 clear of Nagami.
Congratulations to all our medalists.
Such a good run, that, Patrick. Barely a flicker of emotion. The world champion, not too far away from the medals in Rio, and having run such a composed race in humid conditions here, she'll fancy she can grab the only medal missing from her collection, which is an Olympic medal, in 2 years' time in Tokyo, when the temperatures arguably could be even more difficult than they are here this week.
And worth pointing out that Chelimo's second half of the race, some 5 minutes quicker than the first half. It was a tactical, conservative first half marathon, but she didn't really put the foot down until she got to 25k, and then produced a couple of 5k splits under the 17-minute mark. Very, very impressive indeed. And now we get the track action underway. First of the women's semi-finals for the 100 metres. And there you see your lineup. Knot of Philippines in lane 1. Kim in 2. Safronova of Kazakhstan in 3. Dute Shand, I think, is the lady you want to watch. The bronze medalist from the Asian Championships this year. She's done an 11:38. That's Christina Marie Knott, been at college in the USA. And will have to go low 11s, I think, to find herself in the final this evening.
Lane 1, North Miss Christina Marie, Philippines. Lane 2, Kim Min-ji, Korea.
Minj Kim,
Lane 3,
11:81 in qualifying. 5 events at these games. She's going to be a busy athlete. There's Olga Safronova. Took gold in the Asian Games in 2014 in the 200 metres. Can she add the 100 title to her name? Dute Shand looked very, very good in the qualifying.
Lane 5, Liang Xiaojing.
Liang Xiaojing, gold in the Youth Olympics back in 2014, showing her pedigree, 11:46 in the heats.
Bahrain.
Al-Khaldi for Bahrain. Didn't make the semi-finals in the 100 or the 200 last time around, so she'll be glad to have got to the semis. Sharapova, 5th in the Asian Championships last year. And in lane 8, Chatha of Thailand in the Thai Air Force. Well, she might need some wings tonight to be able to contend with the likes of Dute Shand, who's in lane 4. Safronova, the tallest of the athletes in shot, wearing 5:01 from Kazakhstan next to Dute Shand. Keep an eye on lanes 3 and 4. The first of the women's semi-finals in the 100 metres. A place in the final and a shot at the medal at stake. Shand looking very nervous indeed, likes to be last to settle, trying to stamp her control over the event before it's even started. So, not in 1, Kim 2, Safronova 3, Shand 4, Liang in 5, and away they go. Shand stays low, good driving start from her. Not on the far side, starts very well, and a good challenge coming in from Liang in lane 5, but it's Shand who fades in the closing stages. Well, that's a tough one to call. Liang was there, Al-Khaldi was there in lane 6, Shand I think faded. Safronova came strong, used her height well in the closing stages. My goodness, what a way to start the programme tonight. 4 of them in that photo finish. Well, Rob, I don't know where your money is after that, but Dute Shand, who led for so much, 85 metres, still had the lead. I think it's going to have to be a prayer and a half to get the goal. We will see. It's all down to the dip.
It was really, really close. There's Shand. Look at the dip coming from Al-Khadi of Bahrain
on the near side. Yeah, the dip was a fraction too early.
That is so tight. I have rarely seen a closer semi-final. You could have put a blanket over the first four, and Chand smiles nervously. At the moment on our results system, the Bahraini Al-Khaldi has been given it 11.43, but there may well only be thousandths in this one.
First three in each heat qualifying, incidentally, and the next two fastest who don't finish in the top three. So looks very much at this stage as if all four of those athletes could go through. Safronova very slow to get into a stride, but going through 60 meters, she starts to use that leg length well. Be very surprised if she's run out of it. And it's Sharipova, I think, who has to hope that she ends up as one of the two fastest losers.
So Safronova, Al-Khaldi with a dip, both of them out-dipping Dute Chand, 11.43. We've got Safronova on 11.42, Al-Khaldi 11.43, Chand 11.43, Liang 11.44. Amazing. 4 women within 200ths of a second. That was tight. Watch Chand in the middle, along with Liang. Chand is in the distinctive pale blue. She's fourth from the right. She gets out well. She's enjoying a good return to form, the Indian. Liang is in good shape as well. These two look comfortable, but then Safronova of Kazakhstan begins to use those long levers. Al-Khaldi is still out of it here, but she is a big, powerful performer. She gets through as a result of that lunge for the line. Liang actually didn't seem to dip with as much force as the three other women, and that's been the difference between qualifying automatically and not making it. Olga Safronova goes through ahead of Al-Khaldi. Dute Chand, the third spot. Liang might well go through, but if she does, it will be as a fastest loser.
Next event, women's 100 meters semi-finals 2.
Wow, that's one of the closest semi-finals I think I've ever seen. 4 athletes separated by 200ths of a second. Well, this one could be tight as well. Here's the lineup for the second semi-final. Ziabkina is the Asian champion over 100 and 200 meters. She's in 3. Odiong, the former Nigerian world junior champion over 200 in 4. And Wei, the defending champion from China, out in 6. They would be the headline stars from this semi-final. Watch out as well for Zulkifli on the outside. Taking you through from the inside, though, this is Chu-Chin Lee, Asian junior champion a couple of years ago and a double SEA Games gold medalist over 100 and 200 meters. She's gone inside 11.5 at her best. Kana Ishikawa, relay silver medalist in the 4x4 in recent editions. World junior finalist back in 2010 over 200 meters. Victoria Ziabkina of Kazakhstan, Asian champion over 100 and 200 meters. Odiong, the Bahrainian, she is Nigerian, or was until 2014. World junior champion over 200 meters 2 years ago. 11.32 her season's best. Yan Jun Liao, PB 11.64. Not too far outside that in qualification. Wei Yong Lee. This is going to be a very tough title defence. First, she's got to get to the final. She is in good shape. She ran 10.99 at altitude earlier this year and 11.10 in the London Diamond League. Lam of Hong Kong.
China.
4th in the Asian Indoor Championships earlier this year. And then Zulkifli of Malaysia, semi-finalist in the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast and a silver medalist in the SEA Games last year over 200 meters.
And the next 2 fastest advance to the final.
Tough one to call, this one.
On your marks.
Zyabkina in 3. Odiong in 4. Wei in 6. Arguably the women to watch here, but just as it was in the first semi-final, with 0.02 of a second separating the first 4, this could be close. There's the defending champion Wei in 6. First 3 will return for the final. A few stumbling in the blocks there, and most notably Odiong, and look at Wei of China. Wei coming away. Odiong has recovered from that poor start. Wei and Odiong, 11.29. The defending champion has laid down an excellent marker there. 11.42 was the winning time in the first semi-final. That was quality. I thought Odiong had a little bit of a stumble very early on in the race. She recovered well as the rest faded. But the defending champion looked really good value for that win. She looks pin sharp, and with 11-1-0 earlier this season, she's in form.
Well, what a contrast to the first of the semi-finals. 4 fighting it out. There were 2 outstanding athletes here, Odiong, Wei, and they both looked as though they had a little bit in reserve. Odiong beautifully relaxed and didn't really seem to be making the effort to chase Wei down. She can save her 100% effort for later on this evening. Both the men and the women's 100-metre final coming on tonight.
The rest, Patrick, were miles behind. Zulkifli of Malaysia has taken the 3rd spot, 11.70. That was her late dip on the line, just denying Liao by 1/100th of a second. And there won't be any fastest losers from this second semi-final, because I think it's Lee and Sharipova with 11.44 and 11.53 from the first semi. Wei Yong Lee has laid down a great marker ahead of her title defence in the final. Odiong recovered from a slightly sluggish start. Zulkifli out-dipped Liao on the line and takes the 3rd automatic spot.
Well, the women's shot put underway. We're in round 1. This is Noura Jasmine from Bahrain. Looking for a distance in excess of 20 metres, certainly, to win here tonight. And the games record stands at 20.55. Xu Xinmai from China. She did that way back in 1990. The Asian record a little bit better at 21.76. 17.11 to open her account, Jasmine.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Gong Li Xiao. She has been so consistent this year, unbeaten outdoors. She has literally and metaphorically stepped out of the shadow of Valerie Adams, still coming back from childbirth. She's capable of more, but it's a solid opener. Nowhere near the 20-metre mark, but it's a good opening put just to loosen things off for the reigning world champion. Got a bronze in the Worlds in Berlin, Daegu, Moscow, silver in Beijing, and gold last year in London, finally coming out on top. 19.09. It's a good start. She's capable of more. That was a couple of moments ago, 19.09 from the favourite, the reigning world champion. And here she goes in the second round. She's won in Shanghai this year outdoors. She won the newly formed World Cup in London, Monaco. She's the defending champion in these Asian Games. Perhaps a marginal improvement, but she's still not getting up to that 20-metre line, which is why she looks a little frustrated with herself, bearing in mind how good she's been this season. .1943, a small improvement there for Gong, but she is still in control in the early stages of that women's shot final.
Well, straight on to the men's 100 metres. Now, as you can see, the world record standing at 9.58. We're not going to be treated to that tonight, but should be a fantastic occasion. And fantastic reception for Lula Mohammed Zuhri, who goes in lane 4 in this first semi. So the lineup, 8 semi-finalists, 2 automatically going through, and the next 2 fastest losers. So 3 semi-finals in the men's event. 287, Anji Kafung, Syed Hassan in lane 2, 4th in his heat with a time of 10.67. Abdullah Akbar Mohammed 5.34, 9th in the Diamond League in Rabat. No need to tell you where Zuhri comes from, the junior world champion. He ran a time of 10.18 in Tampere in Finland, and no wonder everyone's excited to see him in action. Zhu Heng, both him and his brother, world-class sprinters capable of going sub 10.3. Andrew Fisher in lane 6 for Bahrain. Got into the semi-finals in both the Olympics and the World Championships, and possibly the favourite in this first semi-final. Wang Weizhou, good at 400 metres. He's only 21. Can he find the leg speed for the 100 metres here tonight? And Shuangshai Bandit from Thailand in lane 8. So keep your eyes firmly fixed on lanes 3, 4 and 6. Been plenty of surprises already in this athletics meet, but those are the favourites. Mohammed in 3, Zuhri, the Indonesian athlete, in lane 4, and Andrew Fisher of Bahrain in 6. The crowd small in number but loud in voice. They have been on great form so far tonight. So the men's first semi-final of the 100 metres. Away they go, and lane 4, Zuhri, a little bit slow to get underway, and he's under pressure from Mohammed in lane 3, who's had a fantastic start. So Mohammed gets first, Zuhri goes through as an automatic qualifier in second place. And we have to wait and see how that time of 10.21 compares to the other heats, to see whether we get 2 lucky losers out of this first semi-final. But what a performance from Mohammed from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Very solid start from him. And Zuhri didn't panic at all and looked comfortable in the closing stages to take second place.
Wow, that was reminiscent of a certain Usain Bolt and Andre de Grasse exchanging glances in the semi-finals of the 200 way back when. Watch Mohammed, who is third from the right-hand side in the green vest. He starts looking to his right, there he is, and then Zuhri returns the favour. That was very, very composed from both men. I was really impressed with Mohammed there, because you quite rightly said Fisher out in 6 is a good athlete, but he'll have to wait to see if he can go through as the fastest loser. He was outdipped by Zhu of China in the end. There's Mohammed looking across, and then Zuhri, all smiles, returning the favour. He is some find, this 18-year-old. 10.18 to win the World Junior title. Unprecedented for an Indonesian to show that much composure and that much speed at such a tender age. He's a raw talent and he has clearly thrived with the home support.
Well, that is fantastic news for the fans that have turned up tonight. They are going to see one of their own in the 100-metre final later on this evening, no doubt about it. He's already run a PB of 10.24, and that looked easy. He was smiling for the last 35, 40 metres. Back to the shot put, and this is Gao Yang, one of two Chinese athletes, trailing at the moment as she has done on so many occasions. 5th in the World Championships in London in 2017. Can she get anywhere near the 20 metres? Not on this occasion. Well, she looks reasonably happy with that, which might suggest that she knows that silver is the best she can hope for tonight. Just short of the 18-metre mark. 17.55.
Well, there were some real fireworks in that first semi-final of the men's 100 metres. Will there be so again here in the second? Asuka Cambridge of Japan in 3. Su Bing-chan is on fire this season. 9.91, equaling the Asian record not once but twice, and Ogunode in 6. This is a very, very high-quality semi-final, especially when you bear in mind it's only the first 2, plus 2 fastest losers. Gohar Shabazz of Pakistan, just 21 years of age. I wonder where he's from. Yaspi Bobby. Can he join Zuri, his young, very talented compatriot, in the final? This guy's good. Asuka Cambridge, the 9th leading Asian competitor this year, 4x1 silver in the Olympics 2 years ago. Semi-finalist individually in the Worlds. Niepa of Malaysia, 5th in the SEA Games last year. And what about Su Bing-chan? Silver medalist 4 years ago. The leading Asian this year by quite some margin. He's run 9.91 twice. Tosin Ogunode, semi-finalist at the World Indoors over 60 earlier this year, represented Nigeria until 3 years ago.
Lane 7, Oh Kyung-soo, Korea.
Oh Kyung-soo, semi-finalist in the Asian Games 4 years ago.
Lane 8, Sui Jiho.
And then on the outside, it's Xu Shi-ho, bronze medalist in the 4x1 4 years ago and made the final back in 2010. There's Cambridge of Japan in 3. Watch for Su Bing-chan, who's having the best season of his career so far in 6. I beg your pardon, in 5, and there's Ogunode in 6. Ogunode in 6, Bing-chan in 5, Cambridge 3. This is an absolutely loaded semi-final. Su Bing-chan has got a great start. Ogunode now coming through. Cambridge is nowhere at the moment. Bing-chan and Ogunode, and Cambridge will have to wait to see if he can go through as the fastest loser. 10.16, and he comfortably held off the brother of the man with whom Su Bing-chan shares that Asian record of 9.91. Excellent start from Su Bing-chan. Ogunode looked full of running, but this surely is Su Bing-chan's best opportunity to become an Asian Games champion. Cambridge was run out of it by 2 classier opponents, and he's going to have to wait to see whether 10.36 is good enough to go through as the fastest loser. And I think at the moment that ties him with Zhu from the first of the semi-finals, so it's going to be very, very tight. But the favourite, who's been on fire this season, delivered again in the semis.
Well, the start so important. Disappointing for Indonesia on the inside, losing Bobby, who was some way off the mark. But that second semi just a fraction quicker than the first, and we still have one more to come. Su Ping Chang, you can see there, 10-1-6, and Tosin Okonode, the brother of Femi Okonode.
Now, we had a fascinating pole vault this afternoon. One for the purists. I was there. I got the T-shirt to prove it. Singkon of Thailand is still leading, but going into the pole vault, he was in front of the defending champion, Ishiro, by something like 299 points. Now his lead is just 92. And bearing in mind the man from Thailand has a very weak 1,500 metres, this is a very good opportunity for Ishiro to defend his title. He's given himself the platform with the pole vault. Now, one thing that we need to watch quite carefully here, he injured his ankle just before the start of the pole vault, seemed to recover. Let's watch here as he releases in the first round.
He's capable of going over 70 metres. That one is over the 60-metre mark. He's got much more in him. Actually, quite important for Ishiro to pick up a good javelin score, because if he's had one weakness compared to the last time at the Asian Games, his running isn't as good. Certainly the sprinting's not as good as he gets that little bit older. And I think the 1,500, we're not going to see anything like his PB of 440. But if he can throw over 70, he should have a decent margin. Here's your leader.
Singkon was left with a lot to ponder. He performed to his potential in the pole vault. He was only 10 centimetres shy of his lifetime best, but he lost a lot of the lead he'd worked so hard to build up. Now that has fallen shy of the 55-metre line, and further evidence that this is beginning to play into the hands of Ishiro, who we thought, oh, he's fouled it anyway, who we thought was letting his title slip away. And all of a sudden, it's Singkon who's been left to ponder.
So we're back to the track for the third of the men's semi-finals in the 100 metres. 7.86 in lane one is Kong Prasit. He's only 5'4", but he's got good cadence. 10.62 might not be enough to see him through to the final. Be very surprised if it was. Bahrain's Arkaldi, semi-final in the World Youth Championships. 10.69 in qualifying. Kim Koo-kyung, 27-year-old. Made the semi-final in the Asian Games in 2014. Can he go one stage further this time round? Yamagata Ryota of Japan. Silver in the Olympic relay in Rio. Behind the Jamaicans, of course, and ahead of the Canadians. Yang of Chinese Taipei in 5. 6 is Al-Hati from Oman. Took the bronze medal in 2010 in a time of 10.28. We've already seen that more is going to be needed to take a medal tonight. Hassan Tafjan.
Lane 8, Jantan Khairul Hafiz, Malaysia. First
Yantan,
in each heat, and the next one
another
advance to the final.
man under the 5'6" barrier. But he is the Southeast Asian Games champion, Yantan, in 8. So Kong Prasit in 1, Arkaldi 2, Kim 3, Yamagata, watch out for him, in 4, Yang of Chinese Taipei in 5, Al-Hati 6, Tafjan of Iran is 7, and Yantan in 8. Keep your eye on Yamagata in lane 4. And Yang of Chinese Taipei might be able to match him. It's a good low start from Yamagata, and he's got himself half a metre lead over the rest of the field. Yamagata's going through. Yang was good. Tafjan, I think, has gone through as well. But no doubt about the outstanding performance there. Yamagata of Japan. 10.19 he ran in qualifying. He improves that. 10.10, the unofficial time at the moment. And just showing his colours. The fastest run so far tonight. Is it going to be Japan who take away the blue ribbon gold medal here in the GBK Stadium?
Very good run there from Yamagata of Japan. Tell you what, Yang performed well. Chinese Taipei, he just managed to hang on to second spot, out-dipping Tafjian, but Tafjian will still go through with 10.17. But 10.10, Yamagata against Su Bingqian, with the likes of Mohammed for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Zori of Indonesia. This is going to be a sensational final. And with the youngster from here in Jakarta in that final, the atmosphere will be absolutely electric. But that was really, really good from one quarter of the silver medal winning relay quartet from Rio. Much better than his compatriot Cambridge, who will not go through, I don't think, as a fastest loser.
And incidentally, as we have a look at the results of that third semi-final, and Yamagata with a 10.10, you see the two fastest losers coming out of that third semi-final. Tafjan and Kim both going through. The men's final for the 100 metres is at 21.25. So just make a note of that, not to be missed. And if you join us at just after 9 o'clock this evening, you'll get the women's 100 metre final as well. The highlights of tonight's action.
This is the leader of the decathlon in the second round. He is some way shy of the best effort of Ishiro, the man from whom he's trying to wrestle the title. That's a little improvement from the man from Thailand, but remember, he has never run a 1500 inside 5 minutes.
Technically an improvement, obviously a no throw on the first effort from Sinkon, but lacking speed on the in-run, doesn't manage to get that left foot down, doesn't stamp it into the tartan, and 56 metres, still some 4.5 metres short of his PB. He needs a PB here today if he's going to challenge Ishiro of Japan, the defending champion in the decathlon. So the women's 400 and our first medal event of the evening. Akina of Kazakhstan on the inside lane, courtesy of her 53.75 in qualifying. Nguyen in 2 from Hanoi. Lane 8 taken by Huang Gifen of China. Finished second in her qualifying heat. Gold in the Asian Championships in the 4x4. Tong, her teammate, alongside her in lane 7, 54.29 to get herself through to the final. Essa Iman, or Iman Essa from Bahrain, 7th in the Junior World Championships. Nasser of Bahrain also 50.86. She is the class act, silver in the World Championships. Nirmala in 4, won her heat, looked comfortable. Saw her in the Olympic Games, ran 53.03. India's Das Hima, is she the only one that can challenge Nasser? I think so, in this 400 final. Nguyen, from Hanoi, 54.99 so far at these championships, and you can see a 53.75 from Makina. If she gets on the podium, that goes down as an outstanding performance from her. But lanes 3, lanes 5, the ones to watch. Hima Das from India, the junior world champion, ran 51.46 to take that title. And then Salwa Nasser of Bahrain, silver in the World Championships, as I mentioned, just over the 50-second mark. A performance of that quality from Nasser in 5 should see her through to gold medal position. They're underway. First medal competition of the night. And already Nasser moving up on her opponents. Essa going well in lane 6 as well, and taking Nasser with her. Nasser draws up alongside her teammate, and all eyes on lane 5 at the moment. Watch lane 3, and Das Hima going very, very nicely as well, but she needs to, because Nasser's been pushing hard in lane 5 ever since the start of this one. It's all about Das and Nasser as they come into the home straight. Nasser with the advantage. Das has a lot of work to do. 5 meters to catch up, now 4. Now she starts to press the accelerator. Hima Das trying to get through to the goal, but it's going to be gold to Salwa Nasser. Bahrain take their second gold of the day, having taken the gold in the marathon earlier this morning. Salwa Nasser, absolutely superb. We've got Das in second, Makina in third, I feel, from lane 1. That was a good comeback from her in the closing stages. But Salwa Nasser, the class act, the world champion silver medalist, is the Asian Games gold medalist here. And a big smile. The world youth champion from 2015 up against the junior world champion. But it's the youth champion who comes through. Just waiting for confirmation of the times. 50.09 unofficial.
Patrick, there was only ever going to be one winner of that race. Nasser is the second fastest woman in the world this year, the 13th fastest athlete in history as a result of that scorching race against Miller Weibo in Monaco, 49.08. She was miles clear of, albeit a world-class youngster, Hima Das, world junior champion who just missed a medal in the Commonwealths. She's absolutely superb. 5 times this year she has run inside 50 seconds. And I think if Das had been closer, she probably would have gone sub-50 in this one as well. She is one of the very, very best athletes appearing here in Jakarta, and she lived up to her star billing. She's a very, very special talent at the age of 20. She was never going to lose that final.
Well, she's over a second outside her PB, which is also the Asian record of 49.08. But no real pressure. Das put in a real effort on the back straight and started to look as though she may threaten, but it faded with 150 meters to go. So Nasser takes the gold for Bahrain. India take the silver with Das, and Kazakhstan a very good silver indeed with Makina. 52.63 her time, and that's what, 1.15 quicker than we saw from her in the qualifying heats.
This is Sinkon, who is leading. Any improvement in the third round?
He's
maybe marginal.
A couple of meters closer to 57. Can he get close to the 58 marker? Valuable points. We'll try and track Ushiro's performances, because it's about those two at the moment. .57.07, still clinging on to his lead. Here's Nakamura now. He's not out of it. He's a good 1,500-meter runner, can run 4:08, which will pick him up 900 valuable points. But he needs a 55-meter javelin throw to challenge, and he's some way short of that.
Nakamura should be in a good position here to replicate the bronze medal he produced behind Ashiro 4 years ago. They both benefited hugely from that pole vault competition. This is the start list for the men's 400-meter final. Are we going to see one of these 8 men going close to 45 seconds? A really intriguing race, this one. Mohamed Yahya of India in 5, perhaps the marginal favourite. Watch out for Abbas of Bahrain in 6, silver medalist 4 years ago. Kamis, his compatriot, outside him. And Walsh of Japan did well to make it through in 4. Here is Arokia Ravjiv, bronze medalist 4 years ago, Asian Championships silver medalist, former national record holder in India, until the youngster, 3 lanes inside him, took it off him. Ali Kamis, 6th in the 400-meter final in Rio 2 years ago. He's not quite in that kind of form, but he is a really, really good athlete. There's Abbas, world junior bronze medalist a few years ago, former Nigerian. Is Mohamed Yahya going to deliver the gold medal here, having finished 4th at the Commonwealth Games? Julian Walsh ran a fantastic semi-final to make it through here. Got a world junior silver with Japan in the 4x4 4 years ago. Abdullah Hassan, looking composed and ready. He qualified with 45.83. Litvin, semi-finalist in the world indoors earlier this year, the Kazakhstani. He's a national record holder with 45.5. And on the inside, Kalinga Hiwa Kumaric, Asian Championship silver medalist in the 4x4. Intriguing race to call, this one. There's the Indian, Yahya. But watch out for Abbas in the lane outside him. Kamis in 7, perhaps Hassan in 3 as well. I think this one might be a little closer than the women's 400 metres. Really looking forward to this race. Yahya knows he's going to need to get out quickly because he's got Abbas outside him. Also going well is Kamis of Bahrain, 2nd from the outside. Yahya is up onto the shoulder of Abbas. Going well in the middle of the picture is Hassan as well, 3rd from the right-hand side. This is tight. Walsh is still in the mix here as well. 4 or 5 men coming in here, perhaps. Yahya just has the edge. Watch his compatriot, Ariok Rajev, on the outside, but look at this from Hassan. Hassan is loping his way clear here. Yahya is beginning to tie up as his compatriot comes through. Hassan takes it. Yahya, I think, hung on for silver, and perhaps Abbas got very close in the mix for the bronze, or maybe it was Kamis in the lane outside him. Well, Abdullah Hassan has denied the man who shone in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. And he's done it brilliantly there. That was a class race from Abdullah Hassan. Yahya is on the podium, but it's not the gold the Indians were hoping or expecting. And he knows how to greet his public. A superb time as well, 44.89 unofficially. Look at the power he exerts in the last 50 or 60 metres, coming through on the inside and denying the Indian the gold medal. Rocking and rolling. That was a brilliant run from the man from Qatar. Yahya looked as though he was going to close at one stage. But he was not to be denied, Hassan. And it was indeed Kamis who came through to outdip Aryok Rajiv of India for the bronze medal. What a run. Abdullah Hassan is the Asian Games champion. Yahya does get a medal this time, unlike the Commonwealths, and Kamis just 100th of a second behind him with the bronze.
So the women's shot put, we're in the final round, last two throws. Gao Yang lying in second at the moment. She needs something close to the 20-meter mark. We haven't seen it so far tonight, the second of the two white lines, but no, she's been consistently pummeling that 18-meter line. Just short of it most of the time. And once again is going to have to settle for the silver medal time and time again at the Asian Championships, the Asian Games. That is where she finishes. Well, it's a good sequence, and 17.64 to round it all off. And our final throw coming from the champion. It's in the bag. It was in the bag after the first throw, 19.09. But she's improved her mark to 19.43. Are we going to see a token effort, or are we going to see something special on the final throw? The pressure is off, the gold medal's hers, and right up towards that 20-meter line again. She retains the title, won back in 2014. Through 1906 in Incheon to win that title. Second in the World Championships in London in 17. She was fourth in Rio. She is a world-class shot putter, is Gong Li Zhao. And tonight she just adds another Asian Games title to her name. And she does it in style with a 1966. She rounds it off with her best putt of the night. And a rare smile.
And still unbeaten outdoors in 2018. It's an incredible record she's putting together. Gong Li Zhao is once again the Asian Games champion.
And China taking gold and silver as predicted, and as they did in the hammer last night. Lap of honour perhaps from the two Chinese ladies. Silver medal going to Gao Yang. I guess inevitable, and from the body language at the start of the contest, I think Gao Yang settling for the silver. Well, the men's decathlon is in its penultimate event, and it's absolutely crucial. With Shiro with the best throw, but only 63.07. He's gone over 73 meters before, and he needed that to make the 1500 meters comfortable. He's done anything but, as Sing Hon hangs on with a 57, 3 meters short of his PB, but it keeps him in contention. It's going to be a fascinating 1500. Ashiro has the better PB, but Sing Hon is the younger of the two. We're going to see how he can fight and whether he can take the title away from Ishiro. That's going to be a wonderful battle later on this evening. And here are the standings. Can you believe it? With 7,225 on the board, Sing Hon may have thought he'd done enough, but it's not the case. Ashiro is only 2 points behind. Gong in third, 266. So a good battle between himself and the other Japanese competitor for the bronze medal. So the decathlon that looked promising in the very early stages has proved to be just that. Great climax coming up this evening.
Here we go with the men's 10,000 metre final. A really intriguing race last night, and we're hoping for more of the same this evening. Over 25 brutal laps here in this atmospheric stadium. By far and away the two standout men here, Hassan Chani of Bahrain and Abraham Chirobin of Bahrain. Chani is Moroccan and expatriated. Chirobin is Kenyan and one of the fastest half marathon runners in history. And watch out as well for Govindan. The Indian is the Asian champion over 5 and 10,000 metres. India's last medal in this event was back in 1998, and he's got a chance. "13 men in this field. Dan Badaja of Mongolia, 12th in this race, way back in 2010. 9th in the Asian Games Marathon 4 years ago in Incheon. Zhu Rengxiu is a 2:21 marathon runner. 71st at the World Cross Country Championships in Guiyang. Bomthung Shrisung, 8th in the Asian Games back in 2006. Muhammad Ali of Palestine. He'll need a PB to get in the mix here, surely. This is Kieran Tuntivate. I wonder whether he's got Thai heritage because he's American and studies at Harvard. Lakshmanan Govindan, Asian champion over 5 and 10,000 metres. Great chance to get on the podium here. 29:13 his PB. Well-man David Pasaribu of Indonesia. They're getting excited about the men's 100-metre final, and they'll give him support in the build-up. Zhao Chang Hong got a best just outside 30 minutes. Another Indonesian here. What a reception he'll get. Only just turned 20, Robbie Sianturi. Good crowd in tonight, it really is. Maybe not on the far side of the arena, but it is on the near side. Narandulam, Mongolia, 34th in the World Championship Marathon last year, 2:15.
1 to 6.
One of the two standout favourites, Abraham Chirobin, World Half Marathon silver medalist, the third fastest half marathon runner in history. Hassan Chani, the fastest Asian in the world this year, 27:38 his PB. If he runs anything close to that, no one will get near him apart from Chirobin. And Salah Al-Abdi of Yemen, just outside 31 minutes, his lifetime best. This is about the two men from Bahrain. The final of the men's 10,000 metres at the 18th edition of the Asian Games gets underway. And the two star men not really interested in setting the pace early on. They really are in a different class on paper, and I've watched both of them around the world, especially Chirobin. And when he gets it right, I'm talking about the man in third place. We're watching the two athletes from China who've decided to set the pace. When Chirobin gets it right, and there he is, just moving past his compatriot, he's absolutely amazing to watch. Good to see the two Chinese athletes deciding to make it an honest pace. The two Indonesians are off the back. 2:28. That is Zhu. Zhu leads with Zhao just behind him. But Chirobin looks like he's barely doing more than a walk in third place. The third fastest half marathon runner in history, with Chani just behind him, tracking the move of the Chinese men, but looking, Patrick Winterton, unbelievably comfortable. Chirobin in third.
Well, it reminds me of the women's marathon this morning. with similar tactics from the Bahraini athlete. Just settle in early on. Just worrying about the heat. They'll certainly be glad that the race wasn't run 2 hours ago. Scorching hot out there today. Got close to 34, maybe 35 in some parts of the city. I was watching one or two people doing the fire dance around the swimming pool at the hotel. Very, very hot on the feet. And, you know, the women's marathon early this morning, they struck a little bit lucky. It was a little cooler first thing, and the temperature dropping this evening thanks to some clear skies. So for most of these men, the conditions now ideal.
Just noticed Govindan of India out of shot. 8:06 is the American who represents Thailand. The Indian is just running along in around about 6th place, looking fairly comfortable. Asian champion over 5,000 and 10,000 metres. Well, it's the two Chinese athletes leading, but the two key men are quite happy to just tick these early laps off behind them. They're in 3rd and 4th. And having said that, look at Charney. No sooner have I said the two Chinese are leading the way than Charney, the fastest man in the world this year from Asia, has decided to go to the front. He represented Morocco until 2013, and it looks as though he really is going to turn this into an honest race. Zhao of China has immediately been dropped as Govindan of India goes past him, recognising that Charney being at the front is something he needs to follow. It's only Zhu of China following Charney, with Cherobin immediately behind him, and then Govindan in 4th. Single file in the early stages. 22 laps to go. This is fairly bold, and already we've lost, what, 6 athletes off the back. And it won't be too long before the two Indonesians at the back who've just gone through at the home straight will start getting lapped. They are brutal races, these. They really are. But that's how quickly Charney and his injection of pace has spread this field. And already we had 7 at the front. There's a little gap just beginning or threatening to open up, Patrick, behind Govindan, back to the second Chinese athlete, which is Xiao. The 3 men need to work hard to hang on to the Indian, otherwise we'll have 4 away and clear from the rest, and it looks as though that little breakaway is beginning to happen.
3:35 going through 1,200 metres. The opening pace after a steady first lap. No one was in a hurry off their marks, but Charney getting fed up with the early pace, fairly sharpish. And that was around a 64, 64.5 4th lap.
That's what did the damage. That's why the field has been split. And Tuntivate, the American, has recognised that a gap is growing to Govindan, and he's decided to bridge it. So temporarily, at the very least, the 3 men who were beginning to get a little bit isolated from the leading 4 have reattached, but it's still single file. This is bold. We don't normally see fields split this quickly in a major championship, Patrick. We would if they were going for a time, but usually it's pretty cagey for the first 12 or 13 laps in a major championship, unless someone is feeling supremely confident, and that must be the case here for Charney.
Well, I can't believe Charney is so concerned about the time. Maybe he feels this is the way to win it. And with the presence of Cherobin, who can blame him? There goes Cherobin, just saying anything you can do, I can match as well. And it may not be too long before these 2 men are out on their own. 2:28 is Zhu Renzu. Saw him in the marathon in Rio back in 2016. And as yet, I was just about to say, hasn't given away too much to the 2 leaders, but suddenly you see a gap of 3 or 4 metres opening up.
Yeah, they're really going for it here, aren't they? And actually, there'll be an interesting dynamic working as a subplot here, Patrick, because those who have been bold enough to try and go with Cherobin and Shani might really struggle come the business end of the race. So we have a group of 5 who, at the moment, will be battling with each other to try and take the bronze medal. It's very, very early to be talking like that, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. Another 66+ change lap. That's why they're already off the front. The 2 men who used to represent Morocco and Kenya. I don't mean to be disrespectful to the men in that chase group of 5, but on paper these 2 are in a different class, and that is what they're demonstrating, albeit here in the very, very early stages. This is a demonstration of excellence. 2:28, Zhu. I don't think he's dropping out. I think he's going for a drink, which is quite unusual, actually, in a 10,000 metres. You don't often see people going for drinks, and he should be used to these conditions, which tells you it's tough out there.
Well, I think it also tells you that he was probably pushing his luck, sticking with Shani and Cherobin over the first 5 laps, and is just a little overheated as a result of that. But what a fascinating battle for the top spot here tonight, and there's going to be a great battle for the bronze medal as well.
Huge. It's Zhu who leads that, with Govindan in 4th. Just behind him is Tuntivate, as we watch Cherobin and Shani metronomically grinding out these laps, and they're what? They're not 50 metres in front, but it's not far off. The chasers are just going round with 300 to go. It's getting on for 50 metres already. And this time, Patrick, it's Zhao who goes across to get himself a drink and a splash of water on his face. 2:51 for that kilometre. Just 28.5 pace. Well, I'm not used to seeing races this blown apart this early in a major championship, but fascinating to see how it unfolds between Cherobin, the former Kenyan, and Shani, the former Moroccan. Shani has the better time recently over 10,000 metres, but as far as a half marathon is concerned, Cherobin is one of the all-time greats. 58:40 he's run for the half marathon. That was in Copenhagen last autumn. He is absolutely brilliant.
Well, they've eased up a little, Rob. 70:03 for that 8th lap. Compare that to the 64 and the 66 that we saw prior to that. So the 2 leaders just settling down, and the battle of minds begins.
Shani made the top 20 of the World Cross Country Championships in Guiyang a few years ago in fairly sticky conditions, although he didn't finish the 10,000 metres in Rio 2 years ago. Won by Great Britain's Mo Farah, who was on his way to a quartet of Olympic titles. Did the double back-to-back, which hadn't been done since Lassie Viren, the legendary Finn, in 76. And both men got up off the floor in their respective Olympiads to take one of their 4 medals. 68.9 for that lap. And watching Shani and Cherobin, it is still Zhu leading those chasers. Govindan, remember, the Indian is bidding to become his country's first medalist in this event for 20 years. And he is the Asian Championship winner from 12 months ago in the 5 and 10,000 metres. He's in 4th place, in 2nd in that chase group. And we've got Tuntivate of Thailand, the American, and also one of the Mongolians still in that chase group. But 2 very distinct separate races going on, one for the gold, the other back down the field for the bronze. Huge advantage here. This is incredible. What's that? 80 meters now they lead, and they've commanded that advantage after only 10 laps.
2:53 for that fourth kilometre. Compare that to the 2:51 prior to that. But they had one slow lap, lap 8 over the 70-second marker. So the pace fluctuating a little, and as expected, the back-enders about to find themselves lapped by Shani and Sharobin. And the way these two are going, there's a chance they may lap every other member of the field. 13 starters tonight in the men's 10,000 metres.
Yes, they can see the athletes in last place just up ahead of them. .802 is Sri Sung of Thailand. He might have the dubious honour of being the first athlete to be lapped. That's the chase group. 2 Chinese in this group, plus the man from Thailand. One of the Mongolians just hanging on to the back. That's Narandulam, and also the man from Thailand. Sharobin now forcing the pace, and he can indeed see the back of the Thai athlete. Sri Sung, they go sweeping past him, and I can tell you from bitter experience, it is soul-destroying when you start getting lapped in a 10,000 metres. It's very hard to keep count of what lap you're on.
Well, it's the best indication you get of the chasm in class. You can look at the times, it doesn't really mean that much unless you're an expert in such things. A 64.90 lap, the presence of the others has spurred them on.
Wow.
That's some, what's that, 8 seconds, over 8 seconds quicker than the previous lap. And that's all down to Sharobin, who's decided to push it on.
Their lead is absolutely enormous now. The bronze group have just gone past the home straight. They're now going round the crown of the first bend, whilst Sharobin and Chani are going round the other bend. So it's not far off a 200-metre lead at this stage. It's an absolute demonstration of class. There's Sharobin and Chani just on the left, and if you keep your eye on the extreme right of picture, in a couple of seconds you'll see the chase group for bronze going through. There they are. It's not far off 200 metres. That's extraordinary.
2:51.98 for the last kilometre. And Sharobin, as he's done on many occasions, playing with the speed. 12 laps to go now.
And the story as far as the battle for bronze is concerned, it looks to me as though the Mongolian Narandulam is being dropped from that group. So we had 5 looking for an opportunity to take the bronze, assuming Chani and Sharobin have wrapped up gold and silver, and nothing's going to stop them doing that other than surely an attack of cramp. But we now only have 4 running together in that battle for bronze. We have the 2 Chinese athletes, the American flying the flag for Thailand, and this very talented Indian. But they are so far behind the 2 Bahrainians. An incredible distance, considering we're only just over halfway.
Well, it's been a fantastic day for Bahrain so far. And looks as though they may well take the gold and silver from this men's 10,000, added to the women's marathon earlier on. And at the moment, the most successful nation on the second day of the athletics programme. Plenty still to come after the 10,000 metres.
2 men from Indonesia have just gone past the home straight, getting a great reception from the crowd, who are very much looking forward to that men's 100-metre final, which will be a dramatic climax to the end of the evening. This has been a very different race to that which we enjoyed last night in the women's 10,000 metres. Do you know what, Patrick? It's not beyond the bounds of possibility here that the only people Cherobin and Charney don't lap will be the chase group going for the bronze. Everybody else looks as though they will get swallowed up. Possibly even Narendulum of Mongolia, who's only just been dropped from that group of 5 fighting for the bronze medal.
Well, there's an outside chance that even the bronze medal group will be lapped the way these two are pushing it out. 10 laps to go now, and what a situation we have.
Yeah, you've got the Chinese in first and fourth in that chase group, Zhu and Xiao, and sandwiched in between them, Chuntavate of Thailand and Govindan of India. Storming down the back straight now, and I think they might have half a chance of catching Narendulum. Surely they can't catch the 4 men battling for bronze. That I believe, well, I could never remember that happening in a championship where the gold and silver medalists have even lapped the bronze medalist, but they're only 100 metres behind the 4 men battling for bronze. So strange things can happen here, and they're both in inspired form.
Charney shared the lead with Cherobin in the early stages, but for the last kilometre and a half, almost two kilometres, it's been all about Cherobin setting the pace. 9 laps still to go. 10 laps, remember, is 4 kilometres. That doesn't take too much working out. So they've got just over 3.5 Ks still to run.
The only question between Charney and Cherobin is how quickly they will run, and now we've got this almost comical subplot. Will they end up lapping the man who will eventually stand alongside them on the podium with the bronze medal? Cherobin leads, Charney in second. They have just gone round. They're now going round the second bend, and the 4 men battling for the bronze are halfway down the home straight. So that's the gap there. There's the 2 leaders on the extreme left. The 4 men on right of picture are battling for bronze.
Yeah, it's now down to just around 85 metres between the 2 groups. It's coming down at least 10, maybe 15 metres per lap. And with 8 still to go, I think the writing's on the wall. The only person that Cherobin's not going to lap is Charney, and vice versa.
I agree. Another 69 plus change lap, and for anybody who's a club runner out there, if you're trying to run a half decent 8 or 15, you might try and do one of your laps in 69, and they're just hammering these metronomic laps out time and time and time again. Narendulum of Mongolia was in that group of 5 bidding for the bronze. He's now been lapped. 1 or 2 dropping out. That's the athlete from Yemen, but he was always going to struggle with this pace, to be honest. He's never run inside 31 minutes. And I agree with you, Patrick. There is absolutely no doubt that even the men battling for bronze are about to get lapped. There's gold and silver, and if we get a wider shot, 228 is the man in 3rd place, and he is not too far away from getting lapped.
So from 85 metres, the gap down to just under 40, and that's in the space of a lap. So by the time they finish the next lap, they could be up with that bronze medal group. And I wonder what will happen then. Really, the big question, Rob, is who looks the better between Cherobin and Charney. Cherobin's been happy to do the leading. Charney hasn't really offered to do any of the work in the last 3.5 kilometres now. Asian Games record at 27:32. The Asian record itself at 26:38, as you can see. But this is a class performance.
We're about to witness something which I think is unprecedented. 227 is Zhao, and he has decided surely we can't get lapped by the men we're trying to follow home with the bronze medal. He's made an immediate injection, and it's had an impact because his compatriot Zhu has been dropped. It's Zhao who's in third, Govindan is fourth, Tuntivate is fifth, and the two leaders are about to lap the man who is in sixth place, and they've gone past Zhu. Maybe he can hang on to them, but I don't fancy his chances. He is a marathon runner, Zhu, an Olympic marathon runner no less, but here he is, having been lapped by Cherobin and Charney. And they're coming up now to this group. Yeah. Cherobin still forcing the pace, with Charney just behind him.
Govindan in the blue vest, now in the bronze medal position. Asian Championships champion over 5K and 10K. He's not going to add the Asian Games title to his name, but the bronze medal's there for the taking. 1:37 on the last split. Charney, for the first time in a long time, takes his position at the front of the field, and I think just sensing that Cherobin was a little bit uncomfortable, and Cherobin lets a gap of some 2-3 meters open up. Charney looks over his right shoulder to check exactly where he is, and this might be an opportunity for Hassan Charney to make the move, and he's now opened up a gap of some 5, 6, 7 meters.
Now, just in case you're in the process of getting confused, we have Charney leading. Following him is Govindan, who, believe it or not, is actually in third place because he is a full lap behind the Bahraini. Cherobin is second from the left of your picture there. He is in the silver medal position because he is about to lap all the other athletes other than Govindan, who is in third place, even though he's the man immediately behind Charney, who's leading.
Well, all credit to Govindan for sticking in there behind Charney. Charney, I think, will be grateful for the company because Cherobin has hit the wall as such. He's now some 45 meters behind, and it looks as though his chance of gold has gone. Charney, a very, very crafty, canny race from him. Did some work early on. Actually, it was Charney who split the group up in the early stages. And just having a word with Govindan, I think Govindan just touching the feet, and Govindan certainly going inside the line there. You saw that for loss of balance. The yellow flag was straight up. A lap of 80.71. Well, I'm not sure that's, is that accurate?
There's the silver medalist, Abraham Cherobin. So, let's just clarify what's happening here, because it could be a little confusing if you're just joining our coverage. Hassan Charney, on the top of your picture, just going round where the 1500 is at the moment, is leading. The man immediately behind him is Govindan. He is not in second place, he's in third place, because he has been lapped by Charney. He has not been lapped by the man who is immediately on the far left of picture. He's in the silver medal position, although he has become detached from his compatriot. And just to add to the confusion, Zhao of China, who is in front of Cherobin, is actually in fourth place. I hope you're enjoying this race. We've never seen anything like this before. The two Bahrainians have destroyed the field. I think the director's having a nervous breakdown, by the way. But we've never seen two medalists this far ahead of the rest of the field. And it's Govindan who's confusing everybody, because even though it looks like he's in second place, he's actually in third. And Patrick, one thing we need to be very careful about here, Govindan needs to make sure he doesn't accidentally stop a lap too early. That is crucial.
Well, that's... I think that's an unlikely scenario. Another unlikely scenario, but a possible one, is that Govindan, sitting on the heels of Shani, may well start to close in on Shirobin, who's in the silver medal position. That would be extraordinary. He's now over 120 metres clear of Shirobin in terms of this lap, but he's already been lapped by Shirobin, so fascinating situation. 1-2-4, your race leader. 3-2-7 in bronze medal position at the moment, but may sense that there's a chance, a very slim chance, of getting up towards the silver. And if he does it, it will be all down to Hassan Chani.
There's the bell for the race leader Hassan Chani. Govindan, who's immediately behind him, still has 2 laps to go, but he is doing a fantastic job of using Shani as a pacemaker. Remember, no Indian man has won a medal in this event for 20 years. Shani now drops the man who's in third place. Shirobin is miles back, but he is also a long, long, long way in front of Govindan, who is in back of shot. Just to clarify, Govindan wearing 327 in the distinct blue vest of India behind Chani is in third place. Shirobin, the silver medalist, is halfway down the back straight wearing 1-2-6. But here comes Hassan Chani, an absolutely brilliant win. The Bahrainian is the fastest Asian in the world this year, and he has destroyed the entire field, including his compatriot. Shani is the Asian Games champion, and you will never see a bigger winning margin than that. Yet another glorious gold for Bahrain, and it is going to be the golden double. Shirobin is one of the fastest half-marathon runners the world has ever seen, but even he couldn't live with the pace of his compatriot Hassan Chani. Abraham Shirobin takes the silver, and halfway down the back straight is the bronze medalist Lakshmanan Govindan, who is now 200 metres away from what would be the biggest moment of his career so far. Yes, he's the Asian champion over 5 and 10,000 metres, but that's every other year. The Asian Games is every 4, and this will be the medal that he will treasure more than all the others. He used Chani as a pacemaker, hung on to him brilliantly, and destroyed the rest of the men trying to deny him the bronze. And what a special day this is for India. Their first medal in this event for 20 years, and it goes to Govindan. He won't care that it's taken him so much longer than the gold and silver medalists. He won't care that he was lapped by the winner. He will care that he's on the podium, completing an absolutely extraordinary and at times baffling 10,000 metres.
There's your winner. Hassan Chani sat in for the middle section of the race and went with, what, some 6-7 laps still to go. 6:35 with a lap to go. That's Naram Dulam.
.806 is Tuntavate, the Harvard-educated man representing Thailand. They have all been left trailing in the way. That's 802. He was the very first man to be lapped. Wow. What a race that was. It was Govindan who made it visually confusing because he did such a good job of hanging on to Shani and Cherobin wilted so badly over the last 3 or 4 laps, which shows you just how fast Shani was running, because Cherobin's one of the great half marathon runners we've ever seen.
Well, I think Govindan showed that he's a proud man tonight. He did not want to get lapped, and he stuck in behind Shani, maybe thinking he could get his own back. Wasn't to be, but certainly Shani helped him to that bronze medal. But take nothing away from Govindan. He'll be delighted. His adopted father will be over the moon. He's an excellent runner himself.
The crowd are trying to fire some life into the 2 Indonesians in the closing stages. What an extraordinary race. They are absolutely broken. And Shani is on his lap of honour, whilst a whole host of men still haven't finished.
I think that's the second time round. He was streaks ahead, and probably grateful for the company of Cherobin through the midsection of the race. Certainly helped shape events here this evening.
Do you know what? That was so one-sided for Cherobin. It puts me in mind of, I wasn't alive for this, but I have read about it. In 1964, Abiba Bikila successfully defended the Olympic marathon title. He was the first black African to win an Olympic title in Rome when he kicked off his shoes 4 years earlier. So he was already assured a place in the history books and the storytelling fables of marathon running from that. And then in Rome, he finished so far ahead of Great Britain's Basil Heatley, who got the silver, he was doing his warm-down exercises when the man from Great Britain entered the stadium. So we do very occasionally see ridiculously large winning margins, but that was in a marathon. I've never commentated on a major championship where everybody, bar the runner-up, has been lapped. And that's what happened here today. Chani lapped every single athlete apart from his compatriot Cherobin.
Well, I can't think of a major championships where Bahrain have taken 3 golds in the same day of athletics. They took the women's marathon this morning. They got a fantastic win in the women's 400 final with Salwa Nasser absolutely streaking away from Hima Das. And they've gone and won, not only won the 10,000 metres, they've taken gold and silver with Chani and Cherobin. 6:30.
Here's the Mongolian Dambad Raja coming home, getting a hero's reception. The crowd responding to the effort he's put in. I think he looks a little bit emotionally overawed, and it was some reception for him. You could be forgiven for thinking he was Indonesian. He wasn't. He was one of the 2 Mongolians in the race, and all credit to him for deciding to finish. It would have been very easy for many of those men to drop out. Well, the celebrations will go on for the Indians with bronze, and for Chani, who's doing his interviews. Now, Chani was running with Cherobin. This was the moment. Cherobin was doing all the work. And this was the moment that Chani thought, right, I'm going to take this title. And Cherobin was instantly broken. And actually, Patrick, this also may have been the moment that really helped Govindan, because he managed to get away from Tuntivate, who drifted off the back of the pace, and past the man from China, Zhao. And that made him a clear favourite for the bronze, but what a celebration there for Shani.
Yeah, his race plan changing almost the instant that Shani came through. I think he knew that the gold and silver were out of reach very early on, but then deciding that Shani's presence was the opportunity he needed to break away from the rest of those who were challenging for the bronze medal tonight. Shani, though, was in no such situation. Out in front, and he picked his moment to perfection.
You'll never see a more emphatic win in a 10,000 metres than that. Hassan Chani takes gold for Bahrain. Cherobin makes it silver for the same nation. And Govindan takes the first Indian medal in this event, the bronze. That hasn't happened for 20 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the women.
So plenty more to
400
come
meters
here
final.
in the stadium
Please welcome
tonight.
the
We have a medal ceremony first, the women's 400. And the next medal decided on the track will be the women's 100 meters final at just about 10 past the hour.
The medals will be presented by Lord Sebastian Coe, President of the International Association of Athletics
Sebastian
Federation,
Coe
and
back in the stadium for the second evening in succession.
Secretary General of NOC India. Bronze medal representing Kazakhstan, Mikina Elina.
Makina, who drew lane one for the women's 400 meter final. Best chance I thought of getting a medal was in the relay, but she's proved me wrong tonight. It was a fabulous run, fed off the athletes outside her and looked very, very strong down the back straight and put herself in a position to challenge for third.
India, Das Hima.
Hima Das made a strong move down the back straight as well, and at the top of the final bend threatened to challenge Salwa Nasser, but it wasn't to be. The junior world champion becomes the Asian Games silver medalist over 400 meters. An athlete who switched from football and was very accomplished in football as well.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And the gold medalist in the women's 400 meters here tonight.
Representing Bahrain, Nasir Salwa with a new game
Three
record.
gold medals for Bahrain in the athletics today, and it all started with Chalima in the women's marathon this morning. Now it's the time Salwa Nasser, silver medalist in the World Championships, ran a time of 50.06 to win that silver. She was the World Youth Champion back in 2015, and again has shown her pedigree here tonight. Absolutely devastatingly quick over the last 150. Never
Ladies and gentlemen,
in doubt.
please rise for the national anthem of Bahrain. Congratulations to all our medalists.
Salwa Nasser invites the other two athletes onto the top step of the podium. Looks so relaxed in the final 100 meters. Hard to believe that it had been preceded by 300 pretty much flat out. Now the shot put dominated by the Chinese, as was the hammer last night. Gold and silver going to China. Gao Yang in second place yet again, but on this occasion well beaten, over 2 meters behind Gong Li Zhao, and Gong Li Zhao winning it effectively with the very first put, but she also rounded off a good sequence with her longest effort of the day on her 6th and final putt. Now, long jump, the next of the field events, and if you're a decathlon fan, stay tuned because we've got the final event of the decathlon coming up just before 9 o'clock this evening, and we have an extraordinary battle, just 2 points separating the gold and silver medal position, with the defending champion in 2nd place at the moment, having had a fairly sluggish start to his challenge.
Well, let's bring you up to date with what's been going on so far in this long jump. It's been happening over the course of the last half hour. In global terms, it's not an event in the best of health, but certainly here at these Asian Games, we saw an 8-meter jump and better in qualifying. And so it has been the case tonight. And there you can see a little fist pump coming from Zhang of China. Perfectly on the board there, just 4 centimeters short of the board. And I say short of the board, I'm talking really short of the plasticine. He was well and truly on it, getting the benefit of the lift, the additional lift that you get off the much firmer board there. And there you can see it, 8 meters 15 coming in the opening round. What a terrific way to start. Well, this was followed immediately by Wang Jinan. Again, the shortening of the stride, perfect hitch kick. Getting those feet in the right position. That's what the hitch kick is all about. It's just so that when you hit the sand, you have your feet in the right position, getting absolutely everything right. Just getting a bit of explanation there from the official about quite where he was on the board. Superb lift, and that going out to 8 meters 24. So what a stunning start to this long jump final. We've seen global finals in recent times where we haven't had 2 jumpers going out to 8.24 and 8.15 in the opening round. Well, moving on here to the 5th round, and Indonesia enjoying some success already tonight. This is Sapuwatu Rahman. Hasn't done anything particularly special so far, but they're in the 5th round, hitting it absolutely right. Sailing over 8 meters. And well, the gold and silver medal seemed to be the preserve of the 2 Chinese. Well, Sapuwatu Rahman couldn't quite get past Zhang, but it was beyond 8 meters, 8 meters and 9. And with just a little more than 1 round to go, he moves into the bronze medal position. And look at that, that's perfect. 1 centimeter back from the plasticine. At long last, after a relatively disappointing series, he's finally got it spot on. So China in gold and silver medal positions, Indonesia moving into 3rd place. Well, this is live. Indonesia really enjoying the track and field this evening. We've got a star coming up in the men's 100 right at the end. A man who's something of a celebrity in Indonesia. Let's see if this man can join him with a big one in the last round. Well, he looks underwhelmed, and that's the reason why. He gets the red flag. However, as things stand, he will be appearing at the medal ceremony. Sapuwatu Rahman of Indonesia. That stunning 5th round effort of 8 meters and 9. And you can see there just that additional bit of adrenaline taking him into the plasticine. So the hosts have done rather well over the course of these first 2 days of track and field. And just to repeat that, we've got a world junior champion, their first world champion of any kind, going in the men's 100 final. That is the climax of the evening.
So, live action of round 6. 4 jumpers still to go. This is Yuki Hashioka of Japan, the junior world champion. Picks up speed, just chops that stride in the closing stages. Well, he produced a jump in excess of 8 meters in qualifying, 8:03. And I think he's going to be disappointed with the needs 8:10 to get into the medals here tonight. He's given away 6. How valuable is that going to prove to be? Just the loss of balance, that's uncharacteristic. He looked very, very composed in qualifying last night. 8:05, so close, 5 centimeters off. He gave away 6, a perfect in-run, and he would have found himself on the podium tonight. Hashioka's efforts end in disappointment.
Our next final, the women's 100-meter hurdles. Olga Shishigina there, the Games record holder, also the Asian record holder. In her pomp, she was the best in the world, the Olympic champion back in 2000, a winner of this title on 2 previous occasions. And we have a Kazakhstani in the final. There she is in lane 4, Anastasia Vinogradova. Not only is she in the final, she has a real chance of picking up a medal. So let's go through the lineup as Hush starts to descend on the stadium. There in lane 1, representing Hong Kong, China, that's Louis Lai. Has run 13.44. Will need to run maybe 2 or 3 meters faster tonight if she is to get into the medals. The Xie there of Chinese Taipei is in lane 2. Well, Japan have 2 entrants into this final. Masumi Aoki having the best season of her career, 13.17 set this year. Well, here is Vinogradova. Well, the Kazakhstanis produced a stamp in commemoration of Shishigina's achievements a couple of decades ago. I wonder if they'll be doing the same if Vinogradova wins here. But the roar there, that for the homespun talent, Emelianova, the second fastest qualifier. Here, though, perhaps the favourite. Looked very good last night, competing in her 3rd Asian Games. That's Yonghai Lim of Korea Republic. And on the outside, the second of the Chinese athletes here, we've got Wang Do, 13.09, her lifetime best, a former Asian under-20 champion. Or should I say that was, in fact, Tony Shimura. This is Wang Do, wearing 175. Shimura having twice finished 5th in the Asia Championships. Those are championships which happen every 2 years. So the lanes to watch here, 4, 5 and 6. Vinogradova in 4. Zheng perhaps the favourite, the fastest qualifier in lane 6. And the woman, the crowd are getting behind here. In lane 5, Emelianova, the former heptathlete, now specialising in the sprint hurdles. So Vinogradova in 4. Nova in 5, Zheng in 6. The 2 Japanese, Aoki and Shimura, in lanes 3 and 7. Zheng was very sprightly away in the semi-final last night. She's doing well here, and Zheng it is, making the best of her way home. Louis on the far side's having a good run, but it's the Koreans storming home to take the title. A 3rd trip to these Asian Games. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try, and then on the 3rd occasion, you get your just reward. 13.20, the winning time. The 2nd time we've had a Korean champion in this event. Lee Jeong-kyung won this title 8 years ago, and frankly, from the moment she broke away from the gun, hurdling allowing, and believe me, those barriers, they really do come at you thick and fast, but it's all about rhythm. But it's also modified sprinting. You have to be a world-class sprinter, and this is what this young lady is. Her reaction to the gun was better than the rest. Her pickup over the first two hurdles was better than the rest. Technically, she held on to it. So 3 from the left, look at that. She's leading by half a metre. That's the third barrier. She can now start relaxing. Utterly without blemish. Over on the far side, Liu there of Hong Kong, China's having a tremendous run. Alongside as well, Nova coming through for Indonesia. But in all honesty, it was a one-woman race.
Well, very impressive from Jung, but the response from the crowd, all for Amelia Nova from Indonesia in lane 5, and credit to her, because it's never easy in the hurdles especially to run on the shoulder of the leader. Tends to lead to tension, but not on this occasion. And Louis racing in lane 1, taking the bronze medal. But Nova there in the middle of your picture wearing 357. Great effort from her, but Jung it is who takes the title. Gold at the Asian Championships. Tonight she gets gold at the Asian Games.
And the crowd are responding to the big screens at the end or either end of the arena. They have seen that Amelia Nova has been given the silver medal. A very strong second half there from the Indonesian, coming through in 13.33, but 13/100ths of a second, that was the margin of supremacy. And in this sort of event, well, that is a country mile. So here you go, 13.20, the time of the winner as the Korean celebrates. But a silver for Indonesia, and you can't ask any more than that. For Amelia Nova, a lifetime best of 13.33. Louis of Hong Kong, China, picking up the bronze. Well, I said beforehand she'd have to run the fastest race of her life if she wanted to get near the medals. That's exactly what she did. Vinogradova, the Kazakhstani, in lane 6 there. Well, rather like the heat, never getting into the race.
Well, we'll stick with the hurdles, but we'll go from 100 to 400 metres. The men's 400 metre, the next event on the track. And prior to that, we'll see the conclusion of the long jump competition. And what a competition it's been. The last 3 jumps. Down in 6th position at the moment. And up to 8.10 meters required to get into the medals. Hits the board well, but that looks a little short of the 8-meter mark. And I suspect he may be getting the red flag on his final effort. It's close. Bows out. I'll be back. With a no jump, I'll be back, he says. That's the sort of attitude that so many like to see. Look how close that is. But even with a white flag, it was not going to be long enough to get him into the medals here tonight. Zhang of China. Opened his account with a great jump here tonight. Zhang, an 8.15, his first jump. And he's some way short of that, but it's been a good sequence of leaps from Zhang Yugang.
Patrick, look at what the athletes here have done to that board. Well, it's rather like one of my skirting boards after I've taken my hammer out on it at home.
Well, it needed a bit of damage after the decathlon yesterday, where everyone was 5-10 centimetres behind it on the in-run, and that didn't seem to change throughout the competition. 7.94 to finish his effort here tonight. It was 8.15 on the very first round that really set this event alight, and it looks as though Wang Yingyang, who is the gold medalist here tonight, is going to pass on his final jump. He opened his account with 8.24. Stunning performance, considering he just did a 7.89 in qualifying. We weren't expecting to see an 8.24 here tonight. World-class jumping, and China once again getting gold and silver and streaking ahead in the medal table. China and Japan have shared the majority of the success in the Asian Games over the years. We've already seen a 1-2 for China this evening in the women's shot put. And there you see the result of the long jump. A Games record for Wang Yingnan, 8.24. A season's best for Zhang. A career best for Sapwa Churman. Fantastic stuff. Quality competition. And I must say, the last 2 days has been way, way above the standard that we were expecting. Almost everyone over the 7.5 metre mark. And the hurdles now set for the men's 400 metres. Semi-final stage of that competition.
So the next event on the track will be the semi-finals of the men's 400-metre hurdles. We were supposed to have heats this morning, but there weren't enough athletes by the time we got the final declarations to justify that. So we come straight through to 3 semi-finals. It will be the first 2 and 2 fastest losers. And a man going here in the third of these semi-finals, well, he could prove to be one of the names of the Games, because the 400-metre hurdles at the moment, globally, is certainly going through a purple patch, and largely responsible for that is Abdurrahman Samba, who just 8 weeks or so ago became just the second man ever to go inside 47 seconds, eclipsing the mark which had stood for so long of the great Edwin Moses, the man who won a couple of Olympic titles, held the world record for donkey's years, won 122 straight races as well over the course of 8 years. Just while we do have a brief lull on the track, Patrick, I mean, let's consider some of the finals we've seen. I know that in terms of depth as a continental championships, this perhaps doesn't compete with something like Europe, but at the sharp end tonight, we've seen a world class women's 400. We've seen, after a tremendous first round in the men's 400, the heat taken off a little bit in the semi, but then sub 45 clocking in the men's 400 final. That's world class stuff. And then looking at that long jump, which really, I think, gave hope for the Olympic Games in a couple of years' time, with 4 men going beyond 8 metres. So if we follow in that pattern, and I've got no doubt that we'll see it in the 400-metre hurdles. Again, we've got one of the best we've ever seen, the world #2 on the all-time list, and 1 or 2 other events. Certainly, this Asian Games perhaps needs to work on its depth, but right at the sharp end, we are seeing some world-class performances.
So just a minute or so before the start of this first semi-final in the men's 400 hurdles. And keep an eye out for lane 6. Takatoshi Abe, semi-finalist in the World Championships in London in 2017. He's capable of sub 49. That would be fantastic to see. He's done it before. His goal over the last 4 years has been Tokyo 2020. Who can blame him? At home, if he can get himself in the sort of condition where he could challenge for a medal, that would certainly make him. There he is, 4.59. Kobalov taking it easy. Fourth in the Asian Championships. He ran a 49.87 in Rio and will need a quicken up a little here tonight if he's going to find himself a place in the final. Just a reminder, first two in each heat plus the two fastest losers, or each semi-final, I should say. Always a little confusing when you have three semi-finals, but two from each plus two, so we'll have 8 through to the final. Lane 1 empty. Feng of China in lane 2. He says he's in it to win it. Might be a little bit optimistic. He's gone sub 50, so we have to respect that. Only 20 years old, brilliant basketball player as well. Lane 3, Malahi from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now let's start on the outside.
Lane 8.
Adrian from Indonesia. 4 times the Southeast Asian Games, and 4 times he's taken medals. 1 silver and 3 bronze medals. How he'd love to add to that collection tonight. Might be tough. Francis Medina. He's only 5'8", and he's alongside the tallest man in the field. Here he is, Takatoshi Abe, 6'4", semi-finalist, as I mentioned, in the World Championships in London. He's run a 48.68 this season. Han of the Korean Republic in lane 5. Kobalov of Kazakhstan went sub 50 in Rio, and that surprised him as much as anyone else, but he's shown what he can do. Malahi from Saudi Arabia in lane 3, and inside him is Feng Ziqiang. Three men in this field have gone sub 50. Abe in lane 6 has gone sub 49, and consequently starts this semi-final as favourite to cruise through into the 400 hurdles final. Complacency must not come into his game tonight. So easy to get the striding wrong. Single mistake could see him out far earlier than he's planned. And away they go. 7 in this first semi-final. Feng on the inside, and a quick start from Medina in lane 7, drawn up alongside, now overtaken Adrian of Indonesia, but Abe starting to wind it up in lane 6, and just streaks past that long stride. The advantage of being 6'4", class of his own at the moment, just lengthens the stride so he stays on pattern and round into the home bend now. Unless one of these hurdles gets the better of him, it's going to be Abe who takes the win in this first semi-final. Conserve something for the final, that surely will be going through his mind. He's got 4-5 metres to play with. A little bit messy in the closing stages, but absolutely no doubt about the winner. Kazakhstan with Kobalov coming through to take second place. Han in third place for Korea. But that first semi all about Takatoshi Abe. Brilliant stuff. He's going to be a contender for the golden prize come the end of these games.
Well, 49.71. Clearly he could run faster than that. Got no doubt about that. Very, very strong down the back straight. That's because the stride pattern fits absolutely perfect for him. But if you watch this again, he can only hurdle on one leg. So from the 6th hurdle down to the 7, he's got to stick a couple of extra strides in. Now that is why he runs into some trouble, and you saw him almost zigzagging from one side of the lane to the other between the 7th and the 8th flights. Now it's starting to fall in place a little bit. Even there again, you can see him chopping a little bit. So he's a superb athlete. He's slightly a victim of his own length of leg, because if he was a bit shorter, he might not have the same problems. But he certainly is a medal contender. I think we'll get a glimpse of who actually sets a standard in this event in the third semi-final when we see Abderrahmane Samba. But so far, so good for the Japanese, Takatoshi Abe, and they've got a great history in this event. Year in, year out, they've produced world-class hurdlers, and this man certainly fits in that bracket.
Well, here you see confirmation of the winning time of that first semi, 49.71 from Abe, 55.8. Big margin back to Kobolov, but Kobolov safely through, and Han of Korea he'll just have to wait and see whether he goes through as one of the lucky losers. Remember the time, 56.9. It might just scrape through, but 2 semis still to come, and we're expecting the third one to be very, very quick.
So Takatoshi Abe, when you are preparing to run a heat at a major championship, you don't always get to see the athletes in front of you. Many athletes, of course, perhaps don't want to. Others might be stuck in a quiet corner, craning their necks and just getting a sight of them as they run around the top bend, because that's where they've come from. Nervous moments, always these. When you're on the commercial circuit or even running in your national championships, you'll get a chance to set your blocks, get out there, maybe have a couple of runs through to the first hurdle. But less time is afforded you for those sort of things when you get to the championships. There you can see he's adjusting his blocks. A couple of adjustments he can make. There he is, he's actually just tipping up you can see the angle there on the rear block. He's just making that straighter. He's now lining up, and he won't quite be lining that up on the tangent of the bend, but very close to it. And now you can see he's just measuring how far away that front block is from the line. All athletes have their own measurements. Some take out a tape measure. Some use the feet. There you go, he's now fiddling with the rear block. And now jump on them, press them in, make sure they don't slide. There you go. Same routine, they've been doing that for years. "40, 50 years ago, athletes used to take their own wooden blocks. They're wearing 470, that's Takayuki Kishimoto. Japan with a very strong hand in this event. Not the strongest, of course. That is held by the Qataris in the form of Abderrahmane Samba. But Japan will certainly be looking to compete here for at least 2 medals. Well, this is the lineup. It is essentially a first round for these men. They have yet to compete. They were supposed to be out here this morning, but we've gone for 3 straight semi-finals. The first 2 and 2 fast losers will go through to that final. Lanes really to watch, lanes 3 and 7. Chen Chie of Chinese Taipei in lane 3, a runner-up in the World Student Games last year. And this is a continent where those World Student Games are taken very, very seriously. The likes of Kazakhstan always send a strong team, so too China, so too Japan. These two championships, the World Student Games, the Universiade, you may know them as, and the Asian Games, are seen as a major step up towards global competition. So let's go through the full lineup again. From the inside, Binsar of Indonesia, so there will be a roar in a few moments' time when he's introduced to the crowd. Chen there of Chinese Taipei in 3. Ali of Pakistan is in 4, Fan of Vietnam in 5, Kai of China in 6, Kishimoto, Japan in 7, and Tamil Arasan, there he is, the Indian, in lane 8, just 20. Looking a little wide-eyed. His first experience of this level of competition. Kishimoto very much at home. He's a sub-49 400-metre hurdler, so that's world-class. Kai there of China. Hasn't broken 50 seconds in this calendar year. Fan of Vietnam. It's a good lane draw. Lanes 5 or 6, probably the favoured lanes in the one lap. The bend's that much gentler. Nabu Bali is in lane 4.
Lane 3,
Chen, the World Student Games silver medalist, the Universiade silver medalist from 12 months ago, is in lane 3. And Binsar has... Well, let's take in the atmosphere for a moment. An immediate rush of adrenaline for Binsar. An entire nation getting behind him. But will perhaps the weight of expectation weigh on his shoulders? That's what experience is all about. Often tough running the quarter hurdles from those inside 2 lanes. Difficult to see the first hurdle, all the furniture which tends to be around the top bend, the timing clock, chairs. That's where, again, where championship experience comes in. So the 45-metre run to the first barrier and flying out of the blocks there. One from the outside, Kishimoto. Look at this. Coming very tight to the inside of the lane. Also starting off strongly is Chen. So it's Chen in lane 3. Long stride, just chopping his stride at that 5th barrier. Kishimoto landing a little awkwardly there. Oh, and having to pop in a short one, but Kishimoto starting to relax now. So too Chen. It's Chen, 2 from the right. Absolutely coasting here. He has to keep his focus though. Very easy to lose your stride pattern if you ease down too much, but it's going to be Chen moving strongly there of Chinese Taipei, and now Kishimoto being challenged by Tamil Arasan, and that's what happens if you relax too much, and that's exactly what the Japanese athlete did. When those legs are beginning to weigh a little heavily beneath you, when you've got to focus on the stride pattern, suddenly somebody's sneaking up on your outside, which you certainly don't expect because he flew past him about half a minute earlier. Well, Kishimoto could well have been run out of this, and that, quite frankly, is an error. Look how far ahead in lane 7 there. Kishimoto there with the sunglasses. And now you can see Tamil Arasan. He'll be sensing now, look at him. He knows the 10th hurdle. He's meeting it perfectly. He comes off it with momentum. The Japanese simply cannot respond. Not enough time to do it. And that is a pretty basic error from a very experienced athlete. No problems for this man. Chen, he made no mistakes. And Tamil Arasan of India, just 20, remember. He has the gift, because it's almost a gift, it's been delivered to him by the Japanese, of going through to a continental final. So the times will be so important here for Kishimoto. 50.95. And that doesn't look like being fast enough to go through to the final. There are 2 fastest loser spots. But that, well, more than 2 seconds outside his best.
Back to the field events and hoping to pick up on the action from the men's hammer. Women's hammer taking place last night. China getting both gold and silver, and they've got a chance of the gold here tonight. Key will be first to throw. Number 5 there, Nazarov, the Olympic champion, has to start as the favourite after that performance in Rio back in 2016. And Kochev, number 9, Lee, number 11, both medal potential here tonight. And should Nazarov slip up, maybe they'll find themselves on top of the podium. Well, this is what we saw in the 10,000 metres, and the bronze medalist in blue, one step off the track, I think just touching the heel of Cheney in front of him, and the yellow flag was quickly up, and we've just heard that he has been disqualified after a tremendous effort.
25 laps of the track, 1 foot on the inside of the curve. It's a tough old school, isn't it, Patrick?
Yeah, that's very, very harsh indeed. And did he gain any advantage? No.
I suppose counterbalance that with the fact that he wasn't forced into doing it. It was simply his own error. So, apply the rules, by the book, and that's what happens. But I think any reasonable human being out there would feel a great deal of sympathy for him, because I think you're right, he didn't really gain any sort of meaningful advantage.
And it certainly wasn't intentional. It was just, actually, the mistake he made was clipping the spikes of the race leader, which just momentarily threw him off balance. And he had no option but to place a foot on the inside of the white line. One more semi-final to go in the men's 400 hurdles. We've got the hammer action to come as well. We join that in the first round. This is Ahmed El Selfi, who's thrown just under 68 meters in the Asian Championships, and he opens his account with a throw just short of 65 meters, so that's not bad. Only weighs in at 80 kilos. We've got a couple of 135, 136 kilo men here who have, what, an extra 70% of weight to put behind the ball. Early stages in the men's hammer. 64.60 puts El Selfi into top spot for now. Now here's the lineup for the third and final semi-final of the men's 400 hurdles. And lane 7 is the one to watch. Samba, outstanding, dominant on the Diamond League this year. The question is, what sort of a performance are we going to see from him? Bearing in mind, it is only the semi-final. Yu Chaisuan in lane 8, 7th in the Asian Games last time round. There's the hot favourite, Abdurrahman Samba. We're going to see a sub-45 today. Quaish of Vietnam in lane 6.
Lane 5.
Can run a 46.5400. Season's best of high 49s for Cray. Pangpi for Thailand. Made his international debut back in 2013. Reza Malakpur, just 22 years old. On his inside, Ayasami from India. Well, he's just seen and heard that his teammate disqualified from a bronze medal winning performance in the 10,000 meters. And then Shan Kar-kyun on the inside, running the 200. And the 400 hurdles here tonight. So a busy program for Chan. So Samba is the man with the spring in his legs. And a little bit of a gymnast as well. He is absolutely pumped with energy. Beautiful to watch. So, Chan in 1, Ayasami of India 2, Malapur 3, Pampi 4, Cray 5, Cray 6, Samba in 7, and Yu on the outside in 8, and Samba the first to rise. Good start from Yu of Chinese Taipei outside him, but what's that, 3 flights, and Samba's already on his case, looking very fluent. This is a training run for Samba. It's all about conserving energy, getting the confidence that he's got the hang of this stadium here in Jakarta. Well, look at the margin of a lead that he's built coming into the home straight. Just lengthens his stride. Again, not the neatest performance we've ever seen from Samba, but now he can just wind it down and down and down and just jog across the line. Good finish from Asyami on the inside for India to take the second automatic qualification, but Samba cruises that semi-final and now can think about preparing for the big one. Never in doubt, but I'm not sure it's the sort of performance that's going to give him a huge amount of confidence for the final.
Well, it was never in doubt, but we can't see the third hurdle here, but he uprooted it, which in many respects is the easiest hurdle of all over 10 flights. He hits it very hard indeed, and also, and this is something I know that officials globally will look at some point, but because he has that right leg lead on some hurdles, that inside trail leg gets very close to coming around the inside of the hurdle. Now, you're allowed to do that in 40-meter hurdles as long as your leg and your foot goes over that imaginary line which you extend beyond the hurdles. We can't really see it up the home straight because by then the stagger is unwound, but the third barrier, he gave it a good old wrap. It's probably, in all honesty, because his attention's not entirely there. So yeah, the third barrier, which is at the start of the back straight. And he gives it a bit of a whack. I think it was with his trail leg. Here we go. This is the second. Now he's coming up to the third. Now watch him. 2 from the left. Gives this a good wrap. Bang. Catch that with the inside of your trail leg. You can tip up at that pace, believe me. Little bit careless. Never would have seen Edwin Moses do that. We're hard judges, I know. It is only a heat. He stood up, he won it easily. And he is a rather class performer, but, and I guess in some ways this is actually a compliment. The fact that he's running the times he is, and he does have a fair few flaws there, goes to show he can improve so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's 400 meters final. Please welcome the medalists.
Thanks for coming.
And what a race it was, the men's 400, even from the very, very early stages. It looked as though it was going to be an exciting race. So many in the first round producing times around that 46-second barrier. But as the competition went on, they got faster and faster.
President of the Asian Athletics Association and accompanied by Tigor Tanjung, Honorary Life Vice President of
And the VIPs ready for the medal presentation here in the GBK Stadium. Kata on the top of the podium for the first time this evening in the Athletics Stadium. Bahrain picking up a host of medals, most of them gold.
Bronze medal.
And they've got a chance of more here tonight.
Comments
So a bronze medal for Bahrain this time round. Khamis Ali, a time of 45.70.
Silver medal, representing India,
Mohammed Anas Yahia, 45.69, just 1/100th of a second inside Khamis. But far enough behind the gold medal winner tonight not to feel aggrieved. I think he would have settled for second had you asked him prior to the race. And he will have been able to name the winner. Hassan Abdallah for Qatar. Wonderful performance. The only man to go sub 45, 44.89 his time. And he made it look very, very easy indeed. Just the last 10 metres tied up a little, but as he came into the home straight, the result was not in doubt. Long stride. Those behind him starting to tie up a little early. Hassan Abdallah, gold medal for Qatar.
Congratulations to all our medalists.
Confirmation of the medal winners in the men's 400 here tonight. We still have the men's hammer to be decided, the men's decathlon just before 9 o'clock. The 1500 metres will get underway. And the men and women's 100 metres finals yet to come. 9:10 for the women's 100 metres and just before past for the men's. Well, there's the result of the third semi. Samba comfortably ahead, 49.34. And Cray of the Philippines coming through as one of the lucky losers in 55.4.
And there you can see the list of qualifiers for the final. Abdurrahman Samba, despite giving the third hurdle a wrap, is the fastest qualifier, 49.34. Ayasami there of India, that's a tremendous run, 49.55. Takatoshi Abe, 49.71. Chen there, 50.30. And you can see there, and this was perhaps the big story from those semi-finals, is that Takayuki Kishimoto, who should have gone through to this final, and certainly coming into the straight, had everything in hand, but then slowed down and then was passed by Ayasami. Well, Kishimoto misses out.
So let's have a look at the decathlon standings and a reminder of just how close it is at the top. We've got 2 points separating gold and silver. We have 0 points separating bronze and fourth. So we are in for a crack.
มาที่สนามกีฬากันต่อครับนี่เป็นคะแนนของการแข่งขันทศกรีฑานะครับผ่านไป9รายการนักกีฬาของไทยเรานำญี่ปุ่นอยู่เพียงแค่2คะแนนเท่านั้นครับและจะมาตัดสินกันที่รายการสุดท้ายรายการที่10กับการวิ่ง 1,500 เมตรนะครับที่จะเริ่มในอีกไม่กี่นาทีข้างหน้าครับ
ก็เป็นการแข่งขันวิ่งในรอบเนี่ย3รอบกับอีก3/4 รอบนะครับจุดเริ่มต้นก็คือจะเริ่มต้นเลยจากจุดเส้นชัยไปอีกประมาณ100 เมตรนะครับนี่ก็เป็นตารางคะแนนหลังจากผ่านไป9อีเวนต์ผลงานของเราก่อนที่จะทำการแข่งขันพุ่งแหลนเนี่ยคะแนนเรานำอยู่92คะแนนแต่ว่าพอหลังจากจบพุ่งแหลนเนี่ยแชมป์เก่าคนนี้นะครับเคซุเกะอุชิโร่มาจบเป็นอันดับหนึ่งในการแข่งขันพุ่งแหลนแล้วเขาทำคะแนนตีตื้นเรามาเหลือแค่2คะแนนนะครับ
มาแบบน่ากลัวมาก
เขาเป็นเจ้าของแชมป์เมื่อ4ปีที่แล้วนะครับส่วนเราเนี่ยเป็นแชมป์ในรายการชิงแชมป์เอเชียเมื่อปีก่อนดูครับว่าศึกชี้ชะตานะครับ อยู่ที่วิ่ง 1,500 เมตรจับไม้จับมือกันเลยครับ ลุ้นกันใครจะได้ทอง
เพราะเป็นคู่ต่อสู้ที่ต้องบอกว่าสมน้ำสมเนื้อกันแล้วหลังจากที่ผ่าน9รายการไปสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนครับประสบการณ์เราจะน้อยแต่ว่าถึงตรงนี้เราก็นำเขาอยู่กับคะแนนแนะนำนักกีฬาฮะ5-6นี่คือนักทศกรีฑาจากเกาหลีใต้ครับโชดงวี
คะแนนรวมอยู่อันดับ6นะครับส่วนคนนี้ครับแชมป์เก่าเคซุเกะโอชิโร่อยู่อันดับ2นะครับคะแนนเขาน้อยกว่าเรา2คะแนนนะ 7,223 ส่วนนี้ครับนักกีฬาของไทยเราครับสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนคะแนนรวม 7,225 เป็นผู้นำนะครับ
ก็น่าจะสู้กันสนุกเลยครับจากจีนครับ
กงเข้าเว่ยครับช่วงแรกนี่เขาก็ขับเคี่ยวมากับเรานะครับตอนนี้คะแนนรวมอยู่ในอันดับ3ร่วมกับนักกีฬาจากญี่ปุ่นอีก1คนคืออากิโกะนากามุระนะครับ 6,959
จากการ์ตาครับโมฮัมเหม็ดอัมมานาย
นี่ทำคะแนนอยู่ในอันดับที่5นะครับโมอัมมานาย 6,846 คะแนนแล้วก็นักกีฬาจากเจ้าภาพนะ
อินโดนีเซีย
ฟอร์มาเดฟริลจูมรานะครับ5,626 คะแนนอยู่อันดับ7
ได้รับเสียงเชียร์จากแฟนๆกีฬาอินโดนีเซียเยอะแต่ญี่ปุ่นอีกคนนึงครับอากิโกะนากามุระ
นี่เขาก็ลุ้นขึ้นมาสอดแทรกเหมือนกันนะครับอยู่อันดับ3ร่วมกับกงเข้าเว่ยลุ้นกันเลยครับแฟนๆกีฬาไทยกับสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนนะครับ
ออกสตาร์ทแล้วครับ
วิ่งกัน3รอบกว่าๆนะครับ
ลุ้นกันระทึกใจเลยครับบริหารแรงให้ดีแล้วกันครับสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอน
คือในการแข่งขันชิงแชมป์เอเชียเมื่อปีที่แล้วเนี่ยอุชิโร่ไม่ได้เข้าร่วมการแข่งขันนะครับแล้วในการแข่งขัน 1,500 เมตรเนี่ยเราจบเป็นอันดับ6ตอนนั้นวิ่งได้5นาทีกับอีก7วินาทีเดี๋ยวดูครับครั้งนี้เราอาจจะทำได้ดีกว่าเดิมก็ได้
อย่างน้อยคุมวิ่งคุมไว้ก่อนนะ
ใช่ครับหรืออย่างน้อย
ก็เวลาวิ่งคุมตำแหน่งของตัวเองฮะ
ต้องจบผลที่ดีกว่าอุชิโร่นะ
ใช่แต่ก็ต้องระวังทางอากิโอะนากามุระและก็กงเข้าเว่ยด้วย
ตอนนี้2คนนะครับที่รั้งคะแนนรวมอยู่ในอันดับ3ร่วมนำอยู่นะครับนากามุระนำอันดับ1กงเข้าเว่ยอันดับ2สุทธิศักดิ์ตามมาเป็นอันดับ3นะครับอุชิโร่ประคองอยู่ข้างหลังนะครับอยู่อันดับ4
ครับก็เนี่ยครับสำคัญครับคือต้องวิ่งคุมให้ดีแล้วก็ต้องบริหารแรงของตัวเองให้ดีด้วยครับอีก3รอบสนามครับ
เหลืออีก3รอบนะครับเมื่อสักครู่ผ่านมาแล้ว300 เมตร
นักวิ่งจากญี่ปุ่นนะครับอากิโกะนากามุระครับโอ้วิ่งชิงเข้าไปแล้วตอนนี้เป็นเคซุเกะอุชิโร่แซงของเรามาครับ
เราหล่นไปอยู่ในอันดับ4นะครับสุทธิศักดิ์
เนี่ยจะเป็นแผนของนักวิ่งจากญี่ปุ่นนะครับวิ่งฉีกหนีมาก่อนเพื่อให้คนอื่นพยายามที่จะวิ่งไล่ตาม
คือเรียกว่าแต่ละคนก็มีกลยุทธ์ของตัวเองนะครับ
มีแผนในการวิ่งไว้ในใจอยู่แล้ว
ครับว่า 1,500 เมตรนี่จังหวะออกตัวจังหวะสปีดนี่จะขึ้นเมื่อไหร่นะครับตอนนี้นักกีฬาจากญี่ปุ่นนะครับอากิโกะนากามุระนำลิ้วเลยครับเป็นอันดับ1กงเข้าเว่ยนี่ตามมาห่างๆนะครับอยู่อันดับ2อุชิโร่อันดับ3นะครับตอนนี้ สุทธิศักดิ์นี่หล่นลงไปอยู่อันดับ 6 นะครับอยู่ใกล้ๆกับนักกีฬาของเจ้าภาพนะครับ
อีก2 รอบโอ้เขาก็ยังมีสปีดการวิ่งที่ดีนะครับอุชิโร่อีก700 เมตร
9 อีเวนต์ก่อนหน้านี้ที่แข่งขันกันเนี่ยก็จะมีวิ่ง100 เมตรนะครับกระโดดไกลทุ่มน้ำหนักกระโดดสูงวิ่ง400 เมตรวิ่งข้ามรั้ว110 เมตรฟั่งจักรกระโดดค้ำทอพุ่งแหลนแล้วก็นี่คือรายการปิดท้ายนะครับวิ่ง 1,500 เมตร
โอ้ยเขาหันไปมองเหมือนกันครับอุชิโร่แล้วก็คงเห็นแล้วครับว่าเราเองก็ปล่อยระยะให้เขาทิ้งห่างพอสมควรครับ
คือถ้าเป็นแบบนี้เนี่ยเขาก็มีโอกาสจะแซงเราขึ้นมาเป็นเหรียญทองนะครับ
รอบสุดท้ายฮะเตือนมาแล้วนะครับต้องลุ้นครับว่าสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนขอให้มีก๊อก3ก๊อก4ฮะ
ดูว่าเราจะเร่งสปีดขึ้นมาได้หรือเปล่านะครับในช่วง400 เมตรสุดท้ายโอ้แล้วตอนนี้อุชิโร่นี่จะแซงกงเข้าเว่ยของจีนด้วยนะครับ
ดูครับจังหวะเตะขาเขาก็ยังทำได้ดีนะยังมีสปีดอยู่นะครับสุทธิศักดิ์มีแรงขึ้นมาบ้างไหมครับโอ้โหเคซุเกะอุชิโร่เนี่ยเขาจะมีแรงสปีดอยู่นะครับในรอบสุดท้าย
นี่เป็นการแข่งขันทศกรีฑาสมัยที่3ของอุชิโร่นะครับนี่อายุ32แล้วด้วยตอนนี้สุทธิศักดิ์เนี่ยขยับขึ้นมาอยู่ในอันดับที่5นะครับแต่ดูระยะนี่ห่างอุชิโร่เยอะมาก
เขากำลังจะเข้าทางตรงแล้วนะ
ดูแล้วอันดับ1เนี่ยน่าจะเป็นอากิโกะนากามูระนะครับไม่มีปัญหาครับวิ่งฉิวเลยฮะเข้าเส้นชัยเป็นอันดับ1ครับดูแล้วเดี๋ยวมาดูคะแนนรวมอีกทีหนึ่งนะครับ
โอ้โหเรามาไม่ทันเลยครับเขากำลังจะเข้าเส้นชัยเลยครับเซซุเกะอุชิโร่ครับนักวิ่งวัยนักกรีฑาวัย32 ปีของญี่ปุ่น
กำลังจะได้เหรียญทองครับสมัยที่2ติดต่อกันนะครับอุชิโร่
นักกรีฑาที่ทรหดอดทนที่สุดเลยครับ
สุทธิศักดิ์ก็ทำเต็มที่แล้วนะครับตามเข้ามาเป็นอันดับ6แต่ก็มีเหรียญนะครับ
ก็น่าจะเหรียญเงินด้วยนะตามที่ผู้บรรยายบอกนะครับในคนอื่นไม่น่าแซงกลับมาได้ครับมายินดีครับมายินดีกับทางเคซุเกะอุชิโร่ครับ
แต่ก็แสดงสปิริตนะครับเข้ามาจับไม้จับมือก็แสดงความยินดีนะครับกับนักกีฬารุ่นพี่
ระบายอารมณ์ก็เต็มที่สุดๆแล้วครับ
ส่วนคนนี้ได้เหรียญทองแดงนะครับอากิฮิโกะนากามูระเพราะก่อนแข่งนี่คะแนนเท่ากับกงเข้าเว่ยของจีนนะครับออกแรงเต็มที่นะครับแต่ก็ถือว่าเป็นผลงานที่ยอดเยี่ยมสำหรับเจ้าปาร์คนะครับสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนแม้ว่าจะมาโดนแซงในอีเวนต์สุดท้ายนะครับแต่หนทางยังค่อนข้างสดใสนะครับนี่ครับคอนเฟิร์มครับเหรียญทองคือเคซุเกะอุชิโร่นะครับนักกีฬาจากญี่ปุ่น
เดี๋ยวไปลุ้นในอีก4 ปีข้างหน้าที่หางโจวแล้วกันครับที่ศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนอายุยังน้อยอยู่
ครับ
เพิ่งจะ21 ปี
นี่ครับเหรียญเงินครับสุทธิศักดิ์สิงห์ขอนเป็นเหรียญแรกของทัพกรีฑาไทยในเอเชียนเกมส์ครั้งนี้ด้วยแล้วก็เหรียญทองแดงก็เป็นนักกีฬาญี่ปุ่นนะครับอากิฮิโกะนากามูระเข้าเส้นชัยเป็นอันดับ1ในรายการสุดท้ายนะครับวิ่ง 1,500 เมตรเดี๋ยวช่วงนี้เราพักกันก่อนสักครู่แล้วเดี๋ยวจะกลับมาชมการแข่งขันกรีฑากันต่อครับ
เชียร์พลังหญิงไทยในเอเชียนเกมส์ 2018 เสาร์ที่ 25 สิงหาคมนี้ 4 โมงครึ่งวอลเลย์บอลหญิงไทยพบฮ่องกง 1 ทุ่มตรงฟุตบอลหญิงไทยพบจีนส่งแรงใจไทยเชียร์ไทยในเอเชียนเกม 2018 ถ่ายทอดสดทางช่อง WorkPoint เขากลับมาแล้วกับสุดยอดภารกิจที่โลกต้องจดจำเพราะนี่ไม่ใช่สายลับ 007 เขาคือสายลับ 023 งานนี้ไม่ได้มาคนเดียวพกคู่หูสุดมึนมาด้วย
ลูกชายชื่อสักกลินจ้า
ไอ้สัก
สักกลิน
รีบหน่อยนะน้องที่สายแล้ว
ไม่มีคำว่าสาย ถ้าวันตายยังมาไม่ถึง ถึงโค้งก็ต้องแซง เพราะความแรงคือตัวตน
มันใช่เวลาคิดคำคมใหม่อะ
ไม่ได้คิดแต่มันติดอยู่ใน DNA
กูไม่เอาแล้วเว้ย
ไม่มีคำว่าไม่ในพจนานุกรมของคนจริง
ไบแมนสักกรินตูดหมึก
รถไฟไอ้สักเบรกแม่บอกให้เบรก
20 กันยายนนี้ทุกโรงภาพยนตร์
Victory BNK48 สัปดาห์นี้พบกับเรื่องสุดหลอนจากประสบการณ์จริง
แล้วเราก็แบบหันไปมองตรงกำแพง เฮ้ย เห็นเงาใครอ่ะ เราก็เลยเล่นโยกตัว แต่เงาอ่ะมันไม่โยกตามหนู
และภารกิจท้าทายความมืด
จ้องมองที่กระจกและเช็ดหน้าครับ
ห้ามพลาด
เป็นการแสดงที่โดนผมมาก
มาจากไหนคะ
สปปลาวเจ้า
ถ้าเราพูดถึงยักษ์เนี่ยมันดูเป็นกองทัพ ถ้าเราจะออกรบเราต้องเป็นกองทัพ
รถค่ะ
หนูไปอยู่ที่ไหนมาคะ
นี่คือแววตาของนักร้อง
ทีมไหนจะฝ่าแผงกรรมการของเราไปได้ ติดตามได้ใน Thailand Got Talent
รีต้อนรับนักร้องหนุ่มเสียงนุ่มแหนมรณเดชรอคอยซุปตาคนนี้มานานเหลือเกินฮะคุณชอบเพลงนี้อยากกินแหนมคุณหาลั่นพร้อมกันพุธนี้ 20:05 นาที
เข้าพรรษาให้ไปไหว้พระเพราะเราคบกับพี่มาเดี๋ยวพี่พาไปไหว้แม่ลูก
เข้าพรรษาต้องไปไหว้พระ ถ้าอยากปิดทองหลังพระ นี่ให้มาปิดที่พี่
เดี๋ยวนะอาจารย์
การต่อสู้ที่จะมาช่วงชิงความเป็นหนึ่ง ในสงครามจังเกิลวอร์รอบไฟนอลกับการฟาดฟัน
วันนี้กระต่ายป่ากลับบ้านไงครับแหมปากดี
เชื่อเฉือน
ถ้าร้อนกันมากเรื่องเลี้ยงลูกกับทีหลังโทรมายืมกูตรงๆก็ได้ไม่ต้องมาแข่งให้เหนื่อยรู้ปะ
ทุ่มสุดตัว
ที่จะรัก
และแขกรับเชิญสุดพิเศษที่จะมาฟิชเจอริงกับ2หน้ากาก
ฝากความคิดของฉันเอาไว้อยู่ในเธอผ่านมา
เพิ่งมาเลยนะ ผมไม่รู้ว่าเขาคือใครมาก่อน เสียงเขาบังคับได้ตามใจจริงๆนะฮะ นี่คือมืออาชีพจริงๆ
และคนที่ได้เป็นแชมป์ของจังเกิลวอร์คือหน้ากาก
ร่วมลุ้นไปพร้อมกันพฤหัสบดีที่ 30 สิงหาคมนี้ 20:05 นาทีเป็นต้นไป
ลูกชายชื่อสักกลินจ้า
ไอ้สัก
สักกลิน
รีบหน่อยนะน้องที่สายแล้ว
ไม่มีคำว่าสาย ถ้าวันตายยังมาไม่ถึง ถึงโค้งก็ต้องแซง เพราะความแรงคือตัวตน
มันใช่เวลาคิดคำคมใหม่อะ
ไม่ได้คิดแต่มันติดอยู่ใน DNA คำว่าไม่ในพจนานุกรมของคนจริง
ไฟแมนสักกรินตูดหมึก
รถไฟไอ้สัตว์เบรกแม่บอกให้เบรก
20 กันยายนนี้ทุกโรงภาพยนตร์
Victory BNK48 สัปดาห์นี้พบกับเรื่องสุดหลอนจากประสบการณ์จริง
แล้วเราก็แบบหันไปมองตรงกำแพง เฮ้ย เห็นเงาใครอ่ะ เราก็เลยเล่นโยกตัว แต่เงาอ่ะมันไม่โยกตามหนู
และภารกิจท้าทายความมืด
จ้องมองที่กระจกและเช็ดหน้าครับ
ห้ามพลาด
เป็นการแสดงที่โดนผมมาก
มาจากไหนคะ
สปปลาวเจ้า
ถ้าเราพูดถึงยักษ์เนี่ยมันดูเป็นกองทัพ ถ้าเราจะออกรบเราต้องเป็นกอง
กลับมาดูกันต่อนะครับ GBK Main Stadium ครับกรีฑาวันนี้ 2 รายการสุดท้ายในประเภทลู่นะครับ จะเป็นการวิ่ง 100 เมตรชายแล้วก็ 100 เมตรหญิง โดยที่จะเริ่มจาก 100 เมตรหญิงก่อนนะครับ
ก็ถือว่าเป็นรายการไฮไลท์ของกรีฑาเอเชียนเกมส์ครั้งนี้นะครับ เดี๋ยวเราจะมาดูกันว่าใครจะเป็นมนุษย์ที่วิ่งเร็วที่สุดในเอเชียนะครับ ตอนนี้กำลังอยู่ในช่วงการอบอุ่นร่างกายนะครับ
สถิติเอเชียยังคงยืนยงคงกระพันมาตั้งแต่ปี1997 นะครับลีเซี่ยวเหมยจากจีนนะครับทำเอาไว้ 10.79 วินาที ส่วนสถิติของเอเชียนเกมนั้นเป็นของซัสซันติก้าเจยาซิงนะครับจากศรีลังกาทำไว้ที่ปูซานนะครับเมื่อปี 2002
นี่เป็นสตาร์ทลิสต์ในรอบชิงชนะเลิศนะครับ 8 คนสุดท้ายที่ผ่านเข้ามา มีจีน 2 คน บาห์เรน 2 คนนะครับ อุซเบกิสถาน คาซัคสถาน อินเดีย แล้วก็มาเลเซียนะครับ หลุดมาชาติละ 1 คน โตเต็งคือช่องวิ่งที่ 5 นะครับเวยงลี่ที่เป็นแชมป์เก่าจากเมื่อ 4 ปีที่แล้ว แล้วก็ที่น่าสนใจก็คือช่องวิ่งที่ 6 นะครับ โอกา ซาฟโรโนวา ซึ่งเป็นเจ้าของเหรียญทองแดงเมื่อ 4 ปีที่แล้ว แล้วก็ได้รองแชมป์เอเชียเมื่อปีก่อนนะครับ
คนอื่นก็มีช่วงที่1นะครับนิกิน่าชาริโปวาช่วงที่2ครับเหลียงเซี่ยวจิงนะครับช่วงวิ่งที่3นั้นเป็นนักกีฬาจากกาตาร์ฮะฮาจาอัลคาดช่วงวิ่งที่4ก็จากกาตาร์เช่นกันครับ
นิกิน่าชาริโปวานะครับนักวิ่งจากอุซเบกิสถาน
จากบาห์เรนนะขออภัยครับไม่ใช่กาตาร์นะจากบาห์เรนนี่ครับแนะนำตัวนักกีฬาเลยครับ
เหลียงเสี่ยวจิงครับช่องวิ่งที่ 2 จากจีนช่องวิ่งที่ 3 ครับฮาจาอัลคาดีนะครับ
นี่ครับจากบาห์เรนนะฮาจาอัลคาดี
จากบาห์เรนอีก 1 คนครับโอดิยองนะครับ
แล้วก็ตัวเต็งอย่างที่คุณบูวินบอกนะครับมีรอยยิ้มเล็กๆเลยฮะเบยยงลี่ฮะ
เจ้าของแชมป์เมื่อ 4 ปีที่แล้วนะครับ และนี่ครับผู้ปรับที่หวังจะมาล้างตาจาก 4 ปีก่อนครับโอกา ซาฟโรโนวาจากคาซัคสถาน
ถัดมาครับจากอินเดียฮะ
ดูติชานครับ
แล้วก็สุดท้ายจากมาเลเซียครับหมายเลข601ครับ
นักวิ่งของเราลงทำการแข่งขันในวิ่ง100 เมตรนี่ก็คือออนอุมาเชษฐานะครับทำคะแนนเข้ามาเป็นอันดับ 9 นะครับเฉือนไปแค่อันดับเดียวไม่สามารถหลุดเข้ามาจนถึงรอบชิงชนะเลิศ
เป็นเวลาที่น่าเสียดาย
ครับ
ไม่อย่างนั้นน่าจะมีโอกาสมาลุ้นในรอบชิงชนะเลิศนะครับ181ครับเบยยงลี่ฮะของจีนน่าจะดวลกับคนนี้นะครับ501ครับโอกา ซาฟรานวา
หัวยงลีนี่ทำเวลาในรอบคัดเลือกมาเป็นอันดับ 1 เลยนะครับ 11.29 วินาทีแล้วก็มีนักวิ่งจากบาห์เรนนะครับโอดิยองนะครับในช่องวิ่งที่ 4 นะครับที่น่าสนใจเหมือนกันทำเวลาในรอบคัดเลือกมาเป็นอันดับ 2 นะครับดีกว่าโอกา ซาฟโรโนวาด้วย 4-5-6 นะครับจับตามองเลยครับน่าสนใจ
ออกสตาร์ทมาแล้วครับออกตัวถือว่าใกล้เคียงแต่ว่าในช่องวิ่งที่2นะจากจริงครับเล็งสุดจริงครับออกตัวได้ดีมากแล้วก็เวยยงลี่สปรินต์ขึ้นมากำลังจะเข้าเส้นชัยแล้วมีนักวิ่งจากบาห์เรนครับน่าจะเป็นบาห์เรนเลยครับเข้าเส้นชัยเป็นอันดับที่1นะครับเอดิองโอดิองครับเดี๋ยวต้องดูภาพช้าอีกทีนึงเหมือนกันครับว่ายังไงครับโอ้โหแต่ถ้าดูจากสายตาน่าจะเป็นเนี่ยแหละครับเอดิองโอดิองครับที่น่าจะเข้าเส้นชัยเป็นอันดับที่1ครับมาแซงเวยยงลี่ช่วงที่เหลือไม่ถึง10 เมตรสุดท้ายเนี่ยแหละครับ
แล้วเวยยงลี่นี่ไม่แน่ว่าจะจบเป็นอันดับ2หรือว่า3ด้วยนะครับเพราะว่าที่ช่องวิ่งด้านข้างนักวิ่งจากอินเดียก็มาแรงเหมือนกันนะครับให้ดูครับในช่วงประมาณสัก10 เมตรสุดท้ายโอดิองเข้าเส้นชัยถึงก่อนไหมโอ้โหถึงก่อนดูเตชานเข้าที่2นะครับเนี่ยแล้วโอ้โหเวยยงลี่เข้าที่3ครับ
โอ้โหนิดเดียวเท่านั้นเองครับเกือบไปเหมือนกันนะครับเนี่ยเอดิองโอดิองครับโอ้โหเธอกรี๊ดลั่นเลยครับคือตอนที่จะเข้าเส้นชัยนะดาหน้ามาพร้อมกัน 3-4 คนนะครับ
ใช่ครับ
โอ้โหต้องตัดสินจากภาพถ่ายครับแม่แต่ต้องชมเหลียงเสี่ยวจริงครับขอจับมือแสดงความยินดีก่อนเลยครับหลังจากที่เห็นนะครับว่าเอดิองโอดิองนั้นเข้าเส้นชัยเป็นคนแรกแน่นอนในขณะที่ดูติชานครับนี่เธอยังไม่เข้าใจนะยังไม่รู้หรือเปล่าว่าเธอเป็นอันดับที่2ได้เหรียญเงินนะ
เฉือนชนะเวยยงลี่ไป 0.01 วินาทีนะครับที่ 1:11.30 นะครับเดี๋ยวรอดูอีกครั้งหนึ่งครับรอเวลาอย่างเป็นทางการด้วยช่วงออกสตาร์ทมานี่ดูเตชานออกตัวดีมากนะครับขึ้นนำด้วยซ้ำแต่ว่าเวยยงลี่ช่วงประมาณสัก 50-60 เมตรเนี่ยเร่งสปีดขึ้นมาครับแต่สุดท้ายดูเตชานมาเรียกว่าเฮือกสุดท้ายนะครับ
โอ้โหดูอีกที
โอดิองนี่ออกสตาร์ทมาใกล้เคียงกับเวยยงลี่มาก
ออกสตาร์ทไม่ถึงกับดีมากแต่เดี๋ยวดูครับ5 เมตรสุดท้ายเธอโผล่มาจากไหนไม่ทราบนะครับตอนแรกนี่ยังเป็นนักวิ่งจากอินเดียเวยยงลี่แล้วก็ลิวเสี่ยวจิงเนี่ยเหลียงเสี่ยวจิงเนี่ยแต่สุดท้ายเธอโผล่มาตอนท้ายเนี่ยครับโอ้โหแล้วแตะเข้าเส้นชัยได้ก่อนนิดเดียวครับ
เวยยงลี่เนี่ยประมาณสัก 60-70 เมตรก็ดูจะนำอยู่นิดด้วยนะครับโอ้โหแรงปลายครับโอดิองสุดยอดจริง
ๆโถมเข้าเส้นชัยได้ดีเสียดายสุดๆเลยครับนักวิ่งจากอินเดียดูติชาน
โชว์สเต็ปเลยเป็นนักวิ่งบาห์เรนเชื้อสายไนจีเรียนะครับโอดิองอดีตแชมป์เยาวชนด้วยนะครับในการแข่งขันวิ่ง200 เมตรเมื่อ2 ปีก่อนดูเตชานได้เหรียญเงินนะครับ
เธอก็พอใจกับตัวเองแหละครับในขณะที่แชมป์เก่าครับเวยยงลี่ฮะ
ได้เหรียญทองแดงฮะ
ผิดหวังไปโอ้โหนิดเดียวจริง
ๆคือที่1:11.30 ที่2:11.32 เวยยงลี่11.33 นะครับเฉือนกันนิดเดียวจริง
ไม่ได้อยู่ในตัวเต็งด้วยนะครับโอกาสฟรานวาหลุดครับไม่มีเหรียญในปีนี้
กลายเป็นว่าโอกาซาฟโรโนวานี่เข้าที่6เลยนะครับเหรียญทองแดงเมื่อครั้งที่แล้ว
สะใจสุดๆครับ
ดูเตชานนี่เป็นเจ้าของเหรียญทองแดงชิงแชมป์เอเชียเมื่อปีที่แล้วด้วยนะครับที่แข่งในบ้านเกิดของเธอแต่คนนี้ครับเจ้าของเหรียญทอง
ก็เป็นรายการที่แฟนๆกรีฑาในในอินโดนีเซียที่จาการ์ตานะครับสนใจครับคือยังมีแฟนๆนะครับรอชมการแข่งขันอยู่เยอะเลย
นะครับนี่ครับเจ้าของเหรียญเงินเดี๋ยวมาดูสถิติยังเป็นทางการอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะครับเอดิองโอดิองครับนักวิ่งจากบาห์เรนเข้าที่ 11.30 วินาทีอันดับ2ดูเตชาน 11.32 อันดับ3เวยยงลี่นะครับ 11.33 วินาทีครับเดี๋ยวช่วงนี้เราพักชมสิ่งที่น่าสนใจสักครู่แล้วเดี๋ยวจะกลับมาชมวิ่ง100 เมตรชายกันครับ
เชียร์ไทยติดจอ
รถค่ะ
หนูไปอยู่ที่ไหนมาคะ
นี่คือแววตาของนักร้อง
ทีมไหนจะฝ่าแผงกรรมการของเราไปได้ ติดตามได้ใน Thailand Got Talent
กรี๊ดต้อนรับนักร้องหนุ่มเสียงนุ่มแหนมรณเดชรอคอยซุปตาคนนี้มานานเหลือเกิน5 คนคุณชอบเพลงนี้อยากกินแหนมครับคุณหาลั่นพร้อมกันพุธนี้20:05 นาที
เข้าพรรษาให้ไปไหว้พระเพราะเราคบกับพี่มาเดี๋ยวพี่พาไปไหว้แม่ลูก
เข้าภาษาต้องไปไหว้พระ ถ้าอยากปิดทองหลังพระ นี่ให้มาปิดที่พี่
เดี๋ยวนะอาจารย์
การต่อสู้ที่จะมาช่วงชิงความเป็นหนึ่งในสงครามจังเกิลวอร์รอบไฟนอลกับการฟาดฟัน
วันนี้กระต่ายป่ากลับบ้านไงครับแหมปากดี
เชื่อเฉือน
ถ้าร้อนกันมากเรื่องเลี้ยงลูกกับทีหลังโทรมายืมกูตรงๆก็ได้ไม่ต้องมาแข่งให้เหนื่อยรู้ปะ
ทุ่มสุดตัว
ที่จะรัก
และแขกรับเชิญสุดพิเศษที่จะมาฟิชเจอริงกับ2 หน้ากาก
ฝากความคิดของฉันเอาไว้อยู่ในเธอผ่านมา
ช่วงนี้ก็ติดตามกันต่อนะครับนี่ในประเภทลานก็ยังแข่งกันไม่จบนะครับ
นี่เป็นการแข่งขันขว้างค้อนนะครับหรือว่า Hammer Throw ซึ่งเดี๋ยวเราก็จะรอติดตามชมอีก1 รายการซึ่งเป็นไฮไลท์ในการแข่งขันกรีฑาในครั้งนี้นะครับก็คือวิ่ง100 เมตรชายในรายการนี้ก็มีนักกีฬาไทยลงทำการแข่งขันด้วยนะครับ
มีชดนัสรอฟนะครับขว้างค้อนครั้งที่2ครับครั้งที่3นะครับ
ในรายการนี้นักกีฬาไทยที่ลงทำการแข่งขันก็คือกิตติพงษ์บุญมาวันนะครับตอนนี้สถิติอยู่อันดับ10นะครับทำได้ 63.38 เมตรเป็นเจ้าของเหรียญเงินซีเกมส์ที่กัวลาลัมเปอร์เมื่อปีที่แล้วควางมานี่แตะ75เลยครับนักกีฬาจากกาตาร์นะครับอัชราฟเอลเซฟีนี่เป็นผู้นำด้วยนะครับ
ปล่อยไปสุดพลังฮะน่าจะถึง75นะ
75.61 ครับเป็นผู้นำเลยฮะอันดับ2นี่เป็นนักกีฬาจากทาจิกิสถานนะครับดิลชอตนาซารอฟ 74.16 นี่อันดับ3
มาดูจากอุซเบกิสถานครับ
ชารอฟโคจาเยฟนะครับสถิติ 74.06 นะครับ
เขาตั้งโจทย์ไว้ให้แล้วครับ 75.61 โด่งไปหรือเปล่าน่าครับไม่ถึงนะ
ไม่ถึง 75 แต่ก็สถิติดีนะครับนี่เป็นการแข่งขันในการทุ่มครั้งที่3นะครับ
จังหวะหมุนตัวเป็นจุดศูนย์กลางแล้วเหวี่ยงลูกไปนี่แหละครับสำคัญ
มีโอกาส3 ครั้งนะครับแล้วครั้งที่3นี่เขามาทำได้ 74.06 เป็นซีซั่นเบสด้วยครับเอาละครับการแข่งขันวิ่ง100 เมตรกำลังจะเริ่มนะครับสถิติโลกเป็นของยูเซนโบลต์นะครับทำได้ในการแข่งขันชิงแชมป์โลกเมื่อปี 2009 ที่เบอร์ลินนะครับ 9.58 วินาทีสถิติเอเชียคือซูปิงเทียนนะครับทำได้เท่ากับเฟมิโอกุโนเดนะครับ 9.91 วินาทีส่วนเจ้าของสถิติเอเชียนเกมส์ก็คือเฟมิโอกุโนเดจากอินชอนเมื่อ4 ปีที่แล้วครับ 9.93 วินาที
เป็นนักวิ่งจากกาตาร์นะฮะ
แต่ครั้งนี้เนี่ยเฟมี่ไม่ได้มานะครับแต่ส่งน้องชายมาแข่งนะครับก็คือโทซินโอกุโนเดตัวเต็งแน่นอนว่าเป็นนักวิ่งจากจีนนะครับซูปิงเทียนถือว่าเป็นนักวิ่งเอเชียแท้ๆคนแรกที่วิ่งได้ในระดับ9 วินาทีนะครับคนนี้แหละครับตัวเต็งเลยครับซูปิงเทียน
สถิติของเขาที่ดีสุดคือ 9.91 และเป็นสถิติของเอเชียอยู่ในตอนนี้
ครับ
ทำไว้ในรายการ Diamond League จากซาอุดิอาระเบียครับ 5.34 นะมอมอับดุลลาอักคาโมเมด
เป็นอีกคนหนึ่งที่ทำผลงานมาในรอบคัดเลือกได้ดีนะครับนักวิ่งจากซาอุดิอาระเบียอับกาโมฮัมเหม็ด เข้ามาเป็นอันดับหนึ่งของฮีทนะครับของฮีทแรกมีนักวิ่งจากอินโดนีเซียเข้าชิงมาด้วยนะครับมูฮัมหมัดลาลูมูฮัมหมัดซอรี่นะครับ
หมายเลข400 คนนี้แหละครับ
Personal Best ของเขานี่อาจจะไม่ได้ดีเท่ากับยอดนักวิ่งตลอดการของอินโดนีเซียอย่างวิโบโวนะครับแต่ก็ถือว่าทำได้ใกล้เคียงมากๆนักวิ่งของเรานี่ไม่สามารถทะลุเข้ามาถึงรอบชิงชนะเลิศได้นะครับบัณฑิตช่วงชัยแล้วก็ชัยยุทธนะครับ
น่าสนใจเขาอายุเพิ่งจะ18 ปีลาลูมูฮัมหมัดซอรี่
แชมป์ซีเกมส์ของปีที่แล้วก็ไม่ผ่านเข้าชิงนะครับไครูนฮาฟิสจันทันของมาเลเซียเนี่ยครับ
ครับ8 คนนะครับนักวิ่งจากอิหร่านเกาหลีใต้ซาอุดิอาระเบียญี่ปุ่นไต้หวันหรือว่าเทนนิสไทเปจีนอินโดนีเซียแล้วก็กาตาร์
เรียกว่าเป็นนักกีฬาที่ทำเวลาได้ดีหลายคนเลยนะครับเดียวตะยามางาตะนักวิ่งจากช่องวิ่งที่ 4 ของญี่ปุ่นเนี่ยทำเวลาในรอบคัดเลือกมาเป็นอันดับ1นะครับ 10.10 วินาทีส่วนช่องวิ่งที่ 1 จากอิหร่านฮัสซันดัฟเตนเป็นเจ้าของแชมป์เอเชียนแชมเปี้ยนชิพเมื่อปีที่แล้วนะครับคนนี้ครับ
ครับตอนนี้แนะนำนักกีฬาครับฮัสซันทัฟเทียนครับจากอิหร่านนะ
คนนี้วิ่งชนะเฟมี่โอกุโนเดมาในรายการชิงแชมป์เอเชียนะครับ
กีฬาในรอบเลือกเวลาดีด้วยครับคิมคุยังครับจากเกาหลีใต้ 10.33 ครับผ่านควอลิฟายมา
เรียกว่าผ่านควอลิฟายมาเป็นคนสุดท้ายเลยนะครับคิมคุกยอง
ซาอุดิอาระเบียครับอับดุลลาห์อักบาร์โมฮัมหมัดควอลิฟาย 10.21
เวลาในรอบคัดเลือกทำมาเป็นอันดับ6นะครับส่วนคนนี้ครับเดียวตะยามางาตะทำเวลาในรอบคัดเลือกมาเป็นอันดับ1นะครับ 10.10 Personal Best ของเขาคือ 10.00 นะครับทำได้เท่ากับโคจิอิโตะเมื่อ20 ปีที่แล้วเลยอย่างชุนหาน
นะครับของไต้หวันครับ
ทำเวลามาเป็นอันดับ3นะครับ
คนนี้ครับเป็นตัวเต็งซูบิงเทียนจากจีน
เจ้าของสถิติเอเชียนะครับ 9.91 วินาที
แต่คนนี้ครับได้รับเสียงเชียร์เยอะสุดในสนามครับลาลูมูฮัมหมัดซอรี่
เป็น Personal Best ด้วยนะครับวิ่งมาในรอบคัดเลือก 10.24 วินาที
โอ้โหแล้วถ้าเข้าเส้นชัยเป็นอันดับที่1นี่เสียงกระหึ่มแน่นอนครับจาการ์ตาครับโตชินโอกุโนเดครับ
น้องชายของเฟมี่โอกุโนเดนะครับเจ้าของเหรียญทอง100 เมตรเมื่อ4 ปีที่แล้ว
พี่ชายทำไว้ 9.93 นะครับที่อินชอนเกาหลีใต้
เราก็จะลุ้นกันว่าในครั้งนี้ครับการแข่งขันเอเชียนเกมส์จะมีการทำเวลา9 วินาทีเหมือนกับ4 ปีที่แล้วหรือไม่ใน8 คนนี้มีมนุษย์ที่วิ่งได้9 วินาที1 คนก็คือซูปิงเทียนนะครับแต่ดูว่าคนอื่นๆจะมีใครทำได้ไหมทำลายกำแพง10 วินาทีนะครับน่าสนใจครับช่องวิ่งที่1 4 6แล้วก็8นะครับใครจะเป็นมนุษย์ที่วิ่งเร็วที่สุดในเอเชีย
ออกตัวมาครับซูบิงเทียนถือว่าออกสตาร์ทได้ดีนะครับ 9.91 เคยทำไว้ได้แล้วก็ออกสตาร์ทมาจังหวะนี้โอ้โหในช่องวิ่งที่4ครับเยโตะยากาตะมาผ่อนไปแล้วโอ้โหตกไปครับแล้วสุดท้ายเป็นซูบิงเทียนครับเข้าเส้นชัยคนแรกแล้วก็ทำสถิติ 9.92 ทำลายสถิติของเฟมี่โอกุโนเดเพียงแค่0.01 วินาทีเท่านั้นเองครับสุดยอดครับซูปิงเทียนจากจีน
สถิติอย่างไม่เป็นทางการนะครับทำลายสถิติเอเชียนเกมโอ้โหเนี่ยครับมนุษย์ที่วิ่งเร็วที่สุดในเอเชียครับซูปิงเทียน
โอ้โหเดียวตะยามากาตะเหมือนจะขึ้นมาได้ครับหลังจากที่ออกสตาร์ทมาตีคู่กันกับทางซูปิงเทียนครับแต่ว่าสุดท้ายก็แผ่วฮะโอ้โหเร็วจริงอะซูปิงเทียนแล้วออกสตาร์ทดีด้วยนะ
นักวิ่งวัย28 ปีนะครับซูปิงเทียนคว้าเหรียญทองไปได้สมราคาตัวเต็งนะครับส่วนโตซินโอกุโนเดเนี่ยน่าจะเข้ามาเป็นอันดับ2 หรือ 3นะครับกับเดียวตะยามางาตะเดี๋ยวต้องดูอีกทีหนึ่งแต่ที่แน่ๆอันดับ1คือคนนี้ครับซูปิงเทียน
รูปร่าง ช่วงวิ่งก็ไม่ได้สูงใหญ่อะไรมากนะแต่ว่าสปรินต์เร็วเหลือเกินครับ
เจ้าตัวน่ะสูง 172 เซนติเมตรนะครับถือว่าไม่ได้รูปร่างสูงมากสำหรับนักวิ่งแต่ว่าไวมากเดี๋ยวดูอีกครั้งหนึ่งครับ
เนี่ยครับเรตะยามากาตะก็ถือว่าออกสตาร์ทได้ดีแต่ว่าพอเนี่ยแหละครับพอตั้งตัวได้นะครับซูปิงเทียนครับสปรินต์แซงหมดครับกุนูเด้งพยายามที่จะเล่นมันแล้วน่าจะมีโอกาสนะเดี๋ยวต้องดู2 หรือ 3นะ
คือสูสี
กับทางเดียวตะยามากาตะนั่นแหละครับ
ใช่ครับสูสีกันมากแต่พอออกตัวได้ประมาณ 30-40 เมตรเนี่ยซูปิงเทียนเรียกว่านำม้วนเดียวจบเลยนะครับไม่มีนักกีฬาคนไหนไล่ทันเลยโตซินก็พยายามจะเข้ามาแล้วแต่ว่าไม่ทันดูอันดับ2โอ้โหอันดับ2ใกล้เคียงมากครับใกล้เคียงมาก
น่าจะเป็นโตซินโอกุโนเดะ
แล้วเดี๋ยวต้องดูเวลาของทั้งโตซินแล้วก็ยามากาตะด้วยครับว่าจะทำได้กี่วินาทีก่อนหน้านี้เนี่ยมีนักกีฬาญี่ปุ่นมีโยชิเดะคิริวอีกคนหนึ่งที่วิ่งได้ในระดับ9 วิแต่ว่าในครั้งนี้ไม่ได้มาทำการแข่งขันด้วยนะครับ
โอ้โหแม่เริ่มต้นออกสตาร์ทนี่ก็สปรินต์ออกจากบ็อกสตาร์ทได้ดีกว่าหยางชุนหานเห็นชัดเจนเลยนะซูบิงเทียนแล้วก็จากนั้นไม่มีใครไล่ทันเลยครับ
คือแน่นอนว่าในระดับโอลิมปิกเนี่ยเราอาจจะเห็นนักวิ่งที่ทำเวลาได้ในระดับ9 วินาทีเนี่ยเป็นเรื่องปกติแต่สำหรับในวงการกรีฑาเอเชียเนี่ยการวิ่งได้9 วินาทีนี่ถือว่าเป็นอะไรที่สุดยอดมากๆนะครับเดี๋ยวรอผลการแข่งขันอย่างเป็นทางการครับอันดับ1ซูปิงเทียนครับ 9.92 ยืนยันนะครับแล้วโตซินโอกุโนเดะกับเรียวตะยามากาตะ 10.00 นะครับแต่ว่าโตซินเรียกว่าเวลาเซี่ยววิเนี่ยเข้าถึงก่อนเลยเข้าเป็นอันดับ2และได้เหรียญเงินไปนะครับ
มันสมการรอคอยนะครับสำหรับการวิ่ง100 เมตรชายในรอบชิงชนะ
Back action and don't forget the women's 100 final that was sensational
ลูกชายชื่อสักกลินจ้า
There. And next we have the men's long jump, the hammer contest still in progress, and they're in the middle of round 4 of 6 at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's long jump final. Please welcome the medalists.
And the medalists from the men's long jump just making their way out into the stadium. The games record of 8:14, well beaten by this man, Wan Yanan, going out to 8:24 on his very first effort today.
National Asian Athletics Association, accompanied by Du Zhao Chan, Senior Vice President of the Asian Athletics Association. Bronze medal representing
Here we go.
Indonesia, Sapwaturahman.
Sapwaturahman of Indonesia, bringing the home fans a little bit of joy, going out to 8:09. Fantastic effort from him, and he did that in the 5th round, having sat just outside the medal positions for the majority of the competition. Timed his effort right. Just denied Yuki Hashioka of Japan, who was on 8:05. 4 men over the 8-meter mark today in the long jump competition.
China, Zhang Yangwang.
Zhang Yangwang, first to jump, and it was an impressive one. An 8:15 to start the competition off. Sadly for him, he never bettered that. The pressure was on after his teammate went 9 centimetres further. Never got back up to the 8-metre mark after that first effort. But he had got his in-run to perfection.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And the gold medalist, also from China.
Asian Games champion, representing China, Wang Jianan, with a new
Wang
games
Jianan.
record of 8.24 meters.
8 metres, 24 centimetres. 10 centimetres further than the previous games record. Still some 24 centimetres short of the Asian record set by Mohammed Al-Khawalidi. And then just bear in mind Mike Powell's 8.95, the current world record. A record that's only changed twice since the early 60s, having changed, what, 6 times in the 1960s?
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of China. Congratulations to all our medalists.
So another 1-2 for China in the men's long jump. They did it in the women's hammer. They've done it in the women's shot tonight as well.
So into round 4 here. Here's Sukrab Kodjaev, who's getting better with every round and doing it by, well, he's doing it in lumps of 2 meters at a time. So 70 and bits in the first round, then 72 something, then 74. If he can find another 2 meters here, he'll move into the lead. 75 meters 61. Ashraf El Saifi has the lead, the Qatari. A chance of what would be a major shock if Dilshad Nazarov, the Olympic champion, is beaten, but here's Kodjaev. He's getting better with every round, and that is out towards 75. Well, this man knows no boundaries. Well, it has been measured, 74.03, so the sequence of big improvements, and you could see he was disappointed with that. Well, he wouldn't have been 20 minutes ago. That's a measure of the expectations this man has now. He's dangerous in this sort of mood. Here goes Dilshad Nazarov. A best so far of 74 meters 16. He's dominated this event in Asia. The winner of the last 3 titles, won his first 12 years ago in Doha. Is he going to be toppled tonight? Well, has he got this one right? Oh, that's round about 75. Well, it's not going to be enough to get past El Saifi. And Nazarov, by his very lofty standards, is having a bad one. He still, though, has one more throw to turn it around. But the king looking very vulnerable here. But he's still waiting for that distance to come through. 73 meters 57. So down on his third round effort. El Saifi moving closer and closer to the Asian title. But he comes here very much as a young pretender. Doesn't actually turn 22 until October. And Dilshad Nazarov, well, he not quite of the veteran status, but now 36. So in danger of being beaten here by a man almost half his age. Two more rounds to go for Dilshad Nazarov. And this is Ashraf Al Saifi stepping into the circle. That big one coming in the third round, 75 meters 61. There's no doubt when you're that sort of age, you do have the ability to improve in quite large increments. And that one is over 75 meters again. It's a splendid throw. It might even be beyond 76. El Saifi poised to extend his advantage over Nazarov. The man who has been his hero for more than a decade. 76 meters 57 for Ashraf Al Saifi. Look at that.
Ahmed Al Saifi, a much slighter figure. Than his namesake, and some 40 kilos less. Just drifts over to the right hand side of the circle and some 10 meters short of the throw we've just seen from Ashraf. Consistent sequence of throws from Ahmed Al Saifi, 64, 64, 63. His best so far, 65, 33. You can see on his fourth attempt. One more to go.
So here is the medal ceremony for the women's 100-meter hurdles. Well, there she is, the champion from Korea Republic. Unable to suppress her smile, even before she got over the last hurdle there.
International Olympic Committee
it was a flawless run.
And Bae Ho-won, President of Korea Association of Athletics Federation. Bronze medal, representing Hong Kong, China, Lai Yu-Lui.
A bronze medal for Hong Kong, China. Louis Lai. .42 her time. Showing significant improvement, doing that from the inside lane as well. Well, the home fans that stayed behind would have done, I'm sure, to celebrate the silver medal of this woman.
Representing Indonesia, Nova Emilia.
Emilia Nova of Indonesia, finishing very strongly to take the silver medal. 13.33 her time there in second place.
Ladies and gentlemen, gold medal and the Asian Games champion, representing Korea, Hai-Lim Jung.
Well, young Hai-Lim of Korea Republic was the fastest in the semi-final. She was flawless in the final. They talk about the sprint hurdles being, well, modified sprinting, and this woman demonstrated that to perfection. Bursting out of the blocks. She led by a metre at the second barrier. And after that, well, she stretched her lead and then just coasted over the last 2 or 3 barriers, smiling as she did.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Korea.
So a second Korean athlete to take this title in the history of the Asian Games. And it was made to look even routine by Jung.
Well, let's get back to the hammer competition. We're into round 5 of 6, and still Qatar leading with Ashraf Al-Saifi, Dilshah Nazarov, the defending champion, and the man who's won the last 3 titles, as Martin mentioned, sitting in second place. 5.68 is Lee of Korea Republic, and his best so far 71.10. Doesn't look as though he's improved on that. Well, that's come down in the same position. Well, that is his best throw of the night so far, and may well improve his position. So he goes ahead of Wang, and now China's Wang Shitsu has to respond. He's still some 3 meters short of the bronze medal position. Great speed in the circle. That looks very tasty indeed, and it is well over the 70-meter mark, closer to 72 than 71. And Lee's 4th place, short-lived. Still got a way to go, this hammer contest. And Wang Shitsu, silver in 2014 in the Asian Games, behind Nazarov on that occasion. Kojiev, round 5, a best so far of 74.06, and needs just an extra 10 centimeters on that to move ahead of the legend Nazarov. Did he connect? Well, it's not bad, but not quite. He's over 70 meters, but looked to be in the region of 72. Needed 74.16 at least, and it was nowhere near that mark. And having improved with every throw up to the third round now, perhaps starting to fatigue. 72.16, that last throw for Kojiev. Now, Dilshah Nazarov. Can he respond? He's leaving it late in the day. 2 chances left to make it 4 Asian Games titles. Well, he's giving it everything, and he's sent that one out to the left, and he's out of the zone. And now he's down to a final chance. Dilshah Nazarov still trailing by over 2.5 meters. It's going to have to be a remarkable final throw if he's going to lift the title for the 4th time. Musoev, his teammate, trying to encourage him, give him some belief. But Ashraf Al-Saifi now with a chance to slam the door shut. 76-57 in the 4th round, and he has got better with each throw so far, and again he gets good speed, well balanced as he releases the hammer, and it's over 75 meters again. Well, that's high 76. And Al-Saifi is just flying here tonight. Great use of the legs. He knew the second he released that one that it was going the distance. Look at the celebrations. Big smile before he even completes the rotation. 76-88. He gets a new best for the evening. And Ashraf Al-Saifi in tremendous form. So, final round. And we started off with Qi Dakai of China. Best so far, 65-70. And he seems to be finding his form as the competition goes on. There wasn't a lot wrong with that. And he shouts it over the 65-meter marker. Could well be his best of the night. 65-70, remember. The best throw from the Chinese athlete so far. He's not going to get anywhere near the 71-31 we saw from his teammate Wang. And a 66-81, which puts him ahead of Wong of Malaysia. Wong's chance to respond. It looks slow, certainly slower than his last 2 throws, and the distance confirms that. Wong around 64 meters with his final effort here tonight. 5 still to go. And Wang Shitsu will be the first of them.
So this is Wang Shizu. At the moment, lying in 4th place. He needs to find almost 3 meters if he is to get into the medals. Sukharov Kodjayev of Uzbekistan at the moment. He went a little cold in the 5th round. But in all honesty, Wang hasn't looked like anything other than in the high 60s or low 70s form, at least until now. Well, that's a bit better. And looks round about 71. But it's not going to trouble Kodjayev. You could see the determination there, just willing that hammer, but as much as he tries, that is not going to go into 3rd place. 71 meters, so he finishes 4th.
And that means that the medalists are decided. What order they finish in, we'll find out over the next 3 or 4 minutes. Kodjayev's chance, and he has a real chance. He's been up to 74.06. That came in the 3rd round. He needs to extend that just to 74.16. His final chance. Uzbekistan holding their breath. Well, that's gone a long way left. Will it stay in the zone? No, it doesn't. And Kodjayev finishes it with a no throw, and he bows out with a best of 74.06. But he is taking the bronze medal home with him. Twice we've seen him in the Olympic Games. Didn't make the final on either occasion. Through 70.11 in Rio.
Yeah, you could see he just caught the edge of the rim there, didn't he? So, a no throw, but Kodjayev guaranteed of the bronze medal. So, has the sequence of supremacy come to an end? 12 years since he won the first of his 3 Asian titles. And that has gone way out of the left of the sector. It was a massive throw. Wow. That could well have been the longest throw of the night. However, he's hooked it out of the sector. Watch this. Digging deep to find that final effort. He knows at that moment that it's going out. It is a no throw. The title will be El Saifi's, but was that the longest throw of the night? It could well have been.
Ashraf El Saifi. He knows the gold is his, but how he would love to finish with the longest throw of the night. He's gone 70-12, 75-61, 76-57, 76-88. And a big sigh of relief where he saw that last throw drift out to the left. Well, he finishes with a fine effort, but it won't match the 76-88 that we saw in the last round. But he'd sealed victory after just 3 throws. The 75-61 in round 3 was enough for Ashraf El Saifi, and he takes the Asian Games title. Remember that he was 6th in Rio back in 2016. He finished 9th in the World Championships in 2015. He's top dog here today. Great throw. The pressure was always on. Dilshov Nazarov cannot be dismissed at any stage. It would have been nice to get a measure of that last throw from Nazarov. But as it was out of the sector, we won't know, but it was a huge final effort from Nazarov. But the man doing the lap of honour is Ashraf El Saifi. Gets a gold medal for Qatar. I think we'll see some more of him over the years. It's been a long contest for the hammer throws. Finally decided with Ashraf El Saifi. Now, oh, fantastic stuff. The triple flick-flack that many half his size would struggle with. Well, he knows he's going to be in the highlights.
Yeah, I must say, got a little sneak preview of one or two other things he's capable of there. But on a serious note, we do tend to associate hammer throwers with being big men, but they do have certain balletic qualities, that heel, toe, turn around the circle, the speed, keeping and maintaining control of that hammer. And there you can see Ashraf El Saifi, 76 meters 88. Dilshad Nazarov, his reign as the man in charge of this event comes to an end. 74 meters 16, a silver after 3 straight Asian Games titles. And Sukhrob Kodjayev having, well, the night of his life, 74.06. Bronze there for Uzbekistan. And there we can see Moqaddam Khord Mahaleh in 9th place for the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Waiting for the women's 100-meter ceremony. It really was a cracking 100-meter final with Odion streaking away to victory. She dipped about a week early, but still managed to take the tape. Three gold medals for the Bahraini women today. The longest event and the shortest, both the 100 and the marathon.
AIS Play รวมความบันเทิงคุณภาพเปิดความสนุกทุกที่ทุกเวลา
ส่งต่อความมั่นใจสู้ไปด้วยกันนะครับ